Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Plymouth White Marsh High School for senior night here for Salle College High School against Father Judge, the Crusaders. LaSalle with a bevy of phenomenal seniors with whom and for whom they are about to honor on their last regular season game being played at home. Perhaps the earliest senior night that I can remember, and perhaps in the history of LaSalle College High School, but no less emotional for these group of seniors. And now we'll turn the attention to the PA announcer, Chris Carabello.
Last home game. This evening's game against Father Judge represents the last regular season home game for our senior players and managers, all of whom have spent years as dedicated members of the football program at LaSalle College High School. Tonight, we honor them and express our gratitude to their parents for all the support they have shown over the years. Please join us in recognizing these young men who will be accompanied by their parents and greeted at midfield by head coach John Steinmetz. Number 1, Troy Holland, escorted by his parents, Gary and Robin Holland. Number 2, Octavius Carter, escorted by his mom, Anissa Therese Carter. Number 4, Joey Burnham, escorted by his parents, Jim and Sandy Burnham.
Ian Smith, escorted by Mary and J.D.
Mary and J.D.
Yes.
Smith?
Ian Smith, yes.
Okay. Number 6, Charles Donald Roten, escorted by his parents, Charles Donald Jr. and Stephanie Roten. Number 8, Sean Duffy, escorted by his parents, John and Alicia Duffy. Number 9, Liam Trainer, escorted by his parents, Joe and Maureen Trainer. Number 10, Devin Smith, escorted by his parents, James Smith and Natasha Taylor Smith. Jace?
JC. I think you're saying for JC.
Number 14, Isaiah Jones, escorted by his parents, JC and Donita Jones.
You're good. Yeah, that's it. You're right.
Number 16, Danny Selecki, escorted by his parents, Dan and Nadine Selecki. Number 18, Daniel Carish, escorted by his parents, Dean and Maria Carish. Number 20, Alex Santoro, escorted by his parents, Chris and Donna Santoro. Number 21, James Scotto, and number 78, Christian Scotto, escorted by their parents, Brian and Grace. Number 22, Jason Kessler, escorted by his parents, Marianne and Ron. Number 25, Ian Smith, escorted by his parents, J.D. and Mary Smith. Number 26, Owen Pagini, escorted by his parents, Ernie and Joan. Number 33, Brennan Daly, escorted by his parents, Larry and Mary Ellen. Number 37, Josh Graham, escorted by his parents, John and Robin. Number 44, Austin Lemke, escorted by his dad, Brian Lemke, and mom, Jennifer Marnell. Number 50, Liam Lakin, escorted by his mother, Connie, and brother, Patrick. Number 52, Daniel Kuznetsov, escorted by his parents, Alex and Lena. Number 54, Stephen Matchett, escorted by his parents, Steve and Eileen. Number 56, Colin Hirschman, escorted by his parents, Mike and Michelle. Number 57, Craig Krug, escorted by his parents, Gregory and Diane. Number 58, Chris Forsyth, escorted by his parents, Dennis and Lisa.
How are you, brother? 28-7 at 6 3/4. Hit, right? Yeah. And then
Number 64, Brendan O'Brien, escorted by his parents, Dennis and Byrne.
14-42. Phoenix lost the ball. 14-42. Hike to the punter. Ball goes over his head. They attack the kid. A flag thrown, and the refs call roughing the punter.
Number 68, Chris Olt, escorted by his parents, Keith and Chrissy.
First down. Yeah, let him shift his life. But a 4th and 42. They got called for roughing the punter. He wasn't even falling over his head.
Number 72, Christopher Maloney, escorted by his mother, Chris.
Now, he would have been proud of Rory if he was furious. I give Phoenix all the battle.
Number 6, Greg Quick, escorted by his parents, Greg and Melanie.
Not an 0-5, 0-17. They got to play the. I mean, your spot.
Number 76, Tyler Whitehead, escorted by his mother, Dafina. And number 77, Garrett Zobel, escorted by his parents, Ted and Denise.
Interesting to watch a game like that, the way momentum switches. And once momentum switches,
Thank you, senior parents, and let's have a big round of applause for the senior members of the football program here at Salle College High School. We wish them well in college.
the club lost two of their primo players.
Yes, you're good.
Start. How long are they going to be?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Plymouth White Marsh High School, the site of tonight's LaSalle versus Father Judge football game. And as you just saw, it is senior night. The many seniors being honored tonight for this LaSalle College High School football team. 4 years of commitment and service to the program, and their last ever regular season game at the home field Plymouth Whitemarsh, certainly a heartfelt moment, and at that point we'll bring in our color commentary team here, Rob Stott, and alongside me as well, Jason Bempa. Jason, it's like senior night for you as well. It's the last regular season home game for LaSalle football for you as a member of our broadcast team. Want to thank you for your time and for your service here, and I hope that you've enjoyed yourself a little bit along the way.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity I have.
Rob Stott, probably not your last game as a student.
Nah, I don't think so. I think I got a few more years in me.
Class of 2006, always great to have you alongside as well. Guys, we have two of the best offenses in the Philadelphia Catholic League here tonight. In terms of total yards, Father Judge fifth with 291 yards per game, and LaSalle leads the PCL 391 yards on average per game. Now, there are been some lopsided numbers that LaSalle has put on teams, essentially 3 in a row, scoring over 40 points 3 games in a row, and that's very impressive for this LaSalle team, and important that they can continue that momentum. A game here against Father Judge then leads into a bye week, and after that, then they'll return to play Roman Catholic, St. Joseph's Prep, and Archbishop Wood in order to finish off the regular season. We'll take a quick break and come back, and we'll bring you into our broadcast booth next here on BLS.
It is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunford Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfort Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dumpy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfort Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dumpyford.com.
Come experience the Dumpy difference. You'll be glad you did.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
People ask me why I'm giving up a year of my life to help kids. I say, who says I'm giving up anything?
If kids who drop out are 8 times more likely to end up in prison, do we open more prisons or mines?
What's going on, folks? This is Bob Long from Bob Long Sports. We're live here at the Wells Fargo Center before each and every Philadelphia Soul home game. We record this now before Arena Bowl 30, and the Philadelphia Soul, the winningest team in Philadelphia. Bob Long Sports is your spot for live video pregame shows with Bob Long, Eric Nash, and Rob Stott. We even have the opportunity to talk with the AFL Commissioner, Scott Butera. We appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. You do a terrific job, and God bless all of you and the folks of Philadelphia. I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Scott.
Appreciate it.
Tune in before every home game for the Philadelphia Soul official pregame show on Bob Long Sports. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back inside our broadcast booth. Bob Long, we have Rob Stott here, and Jason Bempa, Kevin Long on camera tonight. Guys, it's a big game here for LaSalle. They're 4-1 and coming off 3 straight wins behind Danny Selecki, who came into the season as the backup quarterback, and injury to Isaiah Jones in the second game. And Selecki came into the midst of that McDonough game struggled somewhat, but found his footing in the second half, and you could see the comfort level building, realizing that this might be my team for an extended period of time. What's he done in the meantime? Put up 40 in every other game, including 45 against a very talented Malvern Prep team and a Malvern Prep defense that had held St. Augustine just the week prior, a New Jersey power, to only 7 points. So, guys, it's Danny Selecki's story here tonight. On senior night for him, it takes on extra meaning, Rob.
Yeah, first of all, nice to have you back in the booth, Bob.
I appreciate that. Good to be here.
Leaving us last week, Jason and I, to call our own game. I think we managed well. You got to watch a little bit of the game.
I did. You guys did a great job.
We tried. So thank you for giving us the reins to the show for a week, and we held it down. And hopefully we got enough viewers to come back. So.
Absolutely. I'm sure they did. For those of you that stayed, that's a medal of honor and a badge of courage. So we appreciate that.
We tried. But turning to tonight's game, you mentioned it, before the commercial break. This is an interesting stretch for LaSalle because they've got this game, which you don't want to overlook, and then a bye week, and then, really what's the meat of their schedule. So it's senior night, a lot of excitement on the field tonight, so you kind of want to make sure your attention stays on this game. There's a job at hand that they have to get done, that they need to accomplish. You want to stay perfect in the Catholic League heading into what's a tough stretch against some really tough competition. So I just want to see how focused they can stay tonight.
Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Dunphy Ford, our friends in the Northeast, a great dealership in Mayfair, and Kevin Dunphy and the team over there, they do a great job. So that's 7700 Frankfurt Avenue. You can always visit them and their selection on DunphyFord.com. And when you do go, please tell them that Bob Long Sports sent you and that the LaSalle graduates stay together. So thanks again to Kevin for all he does for us over there at Dunphy Ford. Let's turn to Jason now. Jason, an important game for a lot of players here for LaSalle. We've seen a great season in the rushing game from Manny Keelis and Octavius Carter, who's been a little bit of a change-up back from Keelis. And then at the wide receiver position, you have two of the top receivers in the league in Troy Holland and Brad Malley, both of them in the top 5 in receptions on the year in this league.
Yeah, so far this year, LaSalle, they've been pretty good on offense with the receivers. They've been playing big, and the running back's been coming up big. On senior night, it's good to see Danny Selecki. He came in, and when he stepped in, he did a really good job, and they remain undefeated in PCL play.
What have you seen from this offense? Any differences from when Isaiah was playing quarterback versus the new Danny Selecki offense?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Back when he played his first game versus North Penn, and he played, I believe, the first quarter of the McDonough game, it was more of a run-oriented offense. But when Danny came in, they kind of opened it up and started throwing the ball more. So that's a big difference.
Yeah, it's been a 60-40 split on the year, but like Jason said, in the first 6 quarters of this season, essentially when Isaiah Jones was the quarterback, who was more in that 50-50 range. Rob, will turn back to you. Brett Gordon, a guy that's been doing this for a long, long time. It's got to speak to his acumen at the football level, what he's been able to do, turning around an offense and essentially changing up a playbook that was effective both ways, but adjusting to personnel.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a guy that, it speaks to his commitment, his experience in this program. He's not a new name to LaSalle. So he's been around the program for a while, and he's a quarterback's coach. He knows how to adjust his system, what he likes to have guys do, and really mold it to the quarterback skills, and he's done that with – we saw it with Isaiah. I thought the playbook looked pretty exceptional the first few games of the year, first 6 quarters of the year. And then, with Danny, it's just a different offense, but it still works. He manages to put Selecki in the right position, get him comfortable early in games. We've seen a lot of the quick, easy throws to sort of get him in a rhythm, and then just open it up from there. So it's been fun to watch, and we're barely halfway through the season. We got a little bit over halfway through the season, so we'll see how this just continues to progress over the next few weeks.
And you see the lights come on here in the booth. It's the first time the lights have had to come on before kickoff, so that tells you one thing and one thing only. We are getting into fall. The last couple of days before the clock and the calendar turn into October, and it is surely football season here in the greater Philadelphia area. Touching on the Father Judge Crusaders, they have the top throwing quarterback in the PCL by a yard, Shane Dooley, throwing for over 800 yards. That's besting, or I should say, the number 16 for LaSalle. Danny Selecki is the only one bested by Dooley in terms of overall passing yards. Then the other 2 guys I really want to focus on are the guys out of the backfield. Tim Weldon, big guy, right? Not overly tall, but over 200 pounds, and a big, bruising, physical running back. He's had a lot of rushes this year and is near the top in terms of carries taken from scrimmage. Caleb Joseph, a little bit of a shifty back that this team has. Not that he won't run you over, but he also is a good pass catcher out of the backfield. 4th in the Catholic League in terms of his receptions on the year. Of course, his ability to take the ball on the give as well. He provides a dual threat for this Crusaders team.
Yeah, it's one of the things I noticed, looking up and down the Judge roster, they're not going to really, overwhelm you with their size. They're not tall. Out of the wide receiver position, only one guy's over 6 foot. So, they have small guys, but, they're effective. They put them in, again, the right position to be effective. And, we've seen that with both Weldon and, you have a guy like Arrington as well, leading wide receiver on the team. So it's just they make do with what they have, and it's been a pretty, I don't want to say explosive offense, but an interesting one to kind of keep tabs on.
Steve Arrington actually has the most catches in the Catholic League.
There you go.
And he has been a very good receiver for this team. But I say actually, Rob, because 2 years ago we took a couple snaps at quarterback when they were having issues against the LaSalle team. Now fully entrenched as that wide receiver, and of course having a top-of-the-line quarterback in Dooley helps with that as well. So this LaSalle team will have a challenge as Shane Dooley will take the quarterback reins here tonight. We're now going to turn your attention to the field for the playing of the Alma Mater. Almost game time here at Plymouth White Marsh High School. We'll now take one more break and bring you back for kickoff here on BLS.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dumpyford.com.
Come experience the Dumpy difference. You'll be glad you did.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you are made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
People ask me why I'm giving up a year of my life to help kids. I say, who says I'm giving up anything?
If kids who drop out are 8 times more likely to end up in prison, do we open more prisons or minds?
What's going on, folks? This is Bob Long from Bob Long Sports. We're live here at the Wells Fargo Center before each and every Philadelphia Soul home game. We record this now before Arena Bowl 30, and the Philadelphia Soul, the winningest team in Philadelphia, Bob Long Sports is your spot for live video pregame shows with Bob Long, Eric Nash, and Rob Stott. We even have the opportunity to talk with the AFL Commissioner, Scott Butera. We appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. You do a terrific job, and God bless all of you and the folks of Philadelphia. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Scott.
Appreciate it.
Tune in before every home game for the Philadelphia Soul official pregame show on Bob Long Sports.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dumpyford.com.
Come experience the Dumpy difference. You'll be glad you did.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
People ask me why I'm giving up a year of my life to help kids. I say, who says I'm giving up anything?
If kids who drop out are 8 times more likely to end up in prison, do we open more prisons or mines?
What's going on, folks? This is Bob Long from Bob Long Sports. We're live here at the Wells Fargo Center before each and every Philadelphia Soul home game. We record this now before Arena Bowl 30, and the Philadelphia Soul, the winningest team in Philadelphia. Bob Long Sports is your spot for live video pregame shows with Bob Long, Eric Nash, and Rob Stott. We even have the opportunity to talk with the AFL Commissioner, Scott Butera. We appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. You do a terrific job, and God bless all of you and the folks of Philadelphia. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Scott.
Appreciate it.
Tune in before every home game for the Philadelphia Soul official pregame show on Bob Long Sports. Good evening once again, everybody. Welcome to Plymouth White Marsh High School, the site of tonight's Philadelphia Catholic League matchup between the Crusaders of Father Judge High School and the Explorers of Salle College High School. Bob Long, Rob Stott. We have Jason Bempa alongside as well, and we have Kevin Long on camera. Thanks, everybody, for joining us this evening, and once again, it is senior night. The many LaSalle Explorers that have dedicated 4 years of their time to this football program in victory and defeat, honored before this game, and now on to the field to take care of business. And Father Judge looking to come into town and spoil senior night against this LaSalle team. Judge, they have the weapons. Steve Arrington on the outside along with Shane Dooley, the leading passer in the Philadelphia Catholic League, and 2 running backs that can do a lot of things out of the backfield. LaSalle won the toss, deferred to the second half. That's Daniel Karish you see there in the gold helmets and the all-blue. Father Judge deep to receive. And they'll take it from the goal line. Out to the 15 and to the 20. This is Caleb Joseph wrapped up at the 17-yard line.
And the first thing I noticed tonight is that my voice is going to feel a lot better tomorrow, not having to do all this play-by-play.
Yeah, it's good to have Bob back.
It's good to be back, guys. I've enjoyed listening to you guys, but I like this a lot better. It's great to be here. So our first look at the Crusaders offense this year. Shane Dooley, the junior, standing at 6'1" and 183 pounds. He's thrown 11 touchdown passes on the year with 1 rushing touchdown. Those 12 all-purpose touchdowns lead the Philadelphia Catholic League. Caleb Joseph is deep, standing at 5'11", 172. And the give is to Joseph, hit at the line of scrimmage and falls forward for 1 yard.
And you mentioned all those touchdowns, not a guy that's afraid to run the ball either, Dooley. Over 200 yards rushing, noticed, on the year. So it's something you got to honor as a defense and make sure you're paying attention to where the ball's going.
You notice he returns kicks as well. The 388 total yards that we have for him for the year does not include kick return yards. So over 400 yards coming into this game for Caleb Joseph. He's going to line up in the slot. LaSalle goes nickel. Dooley spins. Maloney on the chase. Dooley has the edge and gets out of bounds. Enough for a first down. A run of 10.
And there's that explosiveness to the outside, getting out of the pocket, noticing that the field is completely covered. No options downfield, so what's he do? He tucks it and runs it and picks up the first down.
Yeah, that's something interesting that'll have to keep the LaSalle defense on the field all night.
For LaSalle, Sean Daly comes off the field. Liam Tatlingari comes on at linebacker, back into the 4-3. Dooley looks to the sideline. Takes the shotgun snap. Handoff to Tim Weldon. Weldon off tackle. Gets up the middle and passed to the 45 to the 40. Roten is back there and rips him out of bounds down at the 17-yard line, but a big gash off tackle for Tim Weldon, the senior running back, coming in at over 200 pounds.
And Judge coming in, first couple plays here, it's all been ground and pound, and, not what we typically see out of this LaSalle defensive line. Been pretty stout all year, but right there, gashed for what might be one of their longest rushes against them of the season.
But, yeah, I think this can benefit LaSalle's defense in many ways. It gives them a test. And now Judge is in the red zone, or they're close to the red zone, and we'll be able to see if LaSalle defense is able to make a stand.
Yeah, first down and 10 at the 18-yard line. Back deep is Caleb Joseph. In the pistol stands number 10, Shane Dooley. Dooley hands it off to Joseph, and great job off the edge. Unblocked. Danny Kitsnetsov gets the stop in the backfield.
Koozie. There it is. Get to say it early.
Hopefully often.
Almost looked like he came in unblocked there, just had a clear sight to the running back and was able to bring him down. Just a nice job wrapping him up, not letting him get away.
A lot of times you see on plays like that, if a guy comes unblocked, that's by design. If you're talking an RPO, a run-pass option, that was not the case there, just a missed assignment.
Yeah, not at all.
10 minutes, 14 seconds, no score. And he throws it right into the arms of number 9, Liam Traynor, picked off in the red zone. And Dooley and the Crusaders turn it over for the first time.
Yeah, that's really major for the defense. After allowing the big drive, the few pretty big runs, it was good to see Liam Traynor respond with the interception.
A little bit of a disguise there, Rob. Coming to the line there, Liam Traynor faking the blitz and then backing off into coverage. Dooley never saw him.
Yeah, and it just fell right into his tummy here on senior night. So that was a nice snag for Traynor, and just the third pick of the year for LaSalle. So nice to see them, get one away from a quarterback here early on in this one. And a big momentum killer for Judge.
That's a great job defensively by Traynor. When you see that linebacker come to the front, you assume it's man-to-man, but then going to zone. Now Selecki takes the shot, nearly intercepted. Good play over the middle by number 31, Shane McGovern.
And Selecki had Burnham there. It looks like he just held on to that ball a little too long. If he gets rid of it when Burnham's maybe 5-10 yards closer to him, that ball lands right in Burnham's hands, but just didn't get enough air under it, and a nice defensive play there by Judge as well.
LaSalle coming out, though, and taking the shot on the first offensive play of the game for them. Now Brett Malley and Octavius Carter, 2 weapons in the backfield alongside Selecki. Selecki slings it out wide. There's a seam there on the outside. Carter up to the 40-yard line. Taken down at the 47.
Yeah. With Octavius playing running back tonight, he's going to have a lot of opportunities for big plays.
Rabu is number 1, Troy Holland, on the outside there, taking the curl inside, and knowing that you only have 1 player over there on the defensive backside, and Malley took the safety off the play. It's a beautiful play design and execution by the Explorers.
And that's just Brett Gordon being so smart with his weapons on offense, knowing if you get Carter in space, that speed, he's able to turn it upfield, and you see the result right there.
3 receivers to the outside. Here's the slant, throws it by Holland. A little bit of contact, just enough. Steve Arrington, a heady senior play, bumping him inside 5 yards, and it's now 2nd down.
And a little hot out of the hand of Selecki there, looking for his favorite target, Troy Holland. But, yeah, like you said, a nice play by Arrington. A good 2-way guy, I guess, Arrington, so we'll see a lot of him tonight.
2nd down and 10, 9:51 to play first quarter. Still scoreless here at PW. Burnham's in motion. Here's the delay give. Octavius Carter puts his foot in the ground and heads upfield. Now running laterally and can't escape that tackle. Gain of 3.
Carter letting his speed get to his head a little bit there. He had, probably maybe lost a yard or 2 from where he was when he cut it back downfield and tried to stretch it out a little bit, but that's that speed that you like to see. Him bust through the middle, a little shifty play by Carter, and positive yards.
Yeah, he tried to break it to the outside. Should have just kept it in, but it was still a pretty good run.
Now 3rd down and 7. First offensive drive for the Explorers. Selecki has a lot of time. Now throws it high into very tight coverage. Throw it over to the head of Brett Malley. And LaSalle will be forced to make a decision around midfield, and they will punt.
That, to me, looked like another situation where Danny just held on to the ball a little bit too long. If he looked to his, I'm not sure if he was looking out towards, I think that was Trainer, or
Malley was the one that he threw it over.
Yeah, he had Burnham as a check down that was wide open, had a good chunk of grass in front of him, just missed him, I think, when his eyes were on Malley.
Steve Arrington, the lone deep man, has his heels at the 6-yard line. Karish's kick, high kick. He'll catch it at the 10. Arrington cuts upfield, and a flag comes going down at the 20-yard line. We'll check the laundry, and it'll be Father Judge back onto the field.
All in all, saw some good things on that first offensive drive for LaSalle, getting a little bit of the run working. Danny was off just a little bit on some throws, maybe holding on to the ball a little bit too long, but LaSalle did a decent job moving the ball.
That'll move Father Judge back on the illegal block in the back call. That is almost always going to be the call when you see a flag come out on a kick return, some form of holding or block in the back against the receiving team. So now LaSalle's defense comes onto the field, able to get after the quarterback here as the Crusaders are pinned back deep in their own end.
Looking for a better second defensive drive here for the Explorers. Got gashed by the run that first time out, so we'll see what kind of adjustments they made while they were on the sideline.
I'm a little bit interested to see how the play call will come here for this Judge team today. They won a game last week against Louisiana to move from 1-3 to 2-3. In that game, guys, 40 rushes and 15 passes. Now, a lot of that dictated by game situation, but whether we'll see a heavy dose of Tim Weldon. He was already successful on a long 40-plus yard run to get deep into LaSalle territory.
Yeah, on the first drive of the game, they seemed pretty run-heavy, but on this drive, we'll see what they choose to do.
And when they weren't run-heavy, Jason, it was an interception.
Yeah, interception, so.
In the I formation, LaSalle able to wrap up at the line of scrimmage.
And that's what we're typically used to seeing out of this LaSalle front four here on defense is really getting after the ball, not letting an offensive line dictate and create holes for the opposing running back, and really just clogging everything up there.
Yeah, and it looks like Coach Stein is choosing to play some of the young guys with Danny Kay, Toph Maloney, and Garrett Zobel all on the sideline on this defensive possession.
It's a good point there, Jason. Early on here on senior night, getting other guys some looks. That's the beauty of this team. Revolving door where you can get guys in and out with fresh legs. Play clock running down to 2, now to 1. Dooley didn't see it, and the flag comes in.
And they're, it's funny because they're deep in their own zone and in their own side of the field here, but they're just at the point where you're still basically getting almost the full 5 yards out of that penalty, so it backs you up just about as far as it can here.
From the 8 to the 4. It's now 2nd down and 13 yards. Under 8 minutes to play, first quarter.
That box is stacked.
Again, the I formation. Here's the give. This time, Caleb Joseph. Joseph gets a few and is stood up there by the linebacking core of LaSalle College High School. 3rd down and long.
And a nice job there keeping Joseph in front of him. The entire defense there not letting him break through the line.
Explorers defense able to turn over Father Judge the first time on a big interception down inside the red zone. That was just the 4th defensive turnover created by the LaSalle Explorers, and that was a big one. Dooley rolls, throws short, should be a yard or two short. A catch was made out there by Arrington, the league's leading receiver. 4th down and short. Father Judge will have to punt.
And a nice job there by LaSalle. The Explorers keeping their receivers in front of them. We just got done talking about how they kept Joseph in front of them. But knowing where that marker is and not letting a receiver get by you and keeping them short of the first down.
Back deep to receive is Holland and Malley. A short punt. It'll land at the 36 and bounce. Nice little hop for Father Judge, but a short punt. And LaSalle will get great field position inside Crusader territory at their 43.
Now, I'm no kicking aficionado or
You're
anything.
not?
No, I'm no punter. Never was a punter, never played soccer.
No punt intended.
No. But that looked like, if I had to assume what happened there, it was a situation where the kick was started too early.
Yeah, definitely.
It looked like it went straight up in the air.
Yeah, it didn't go too far.
Just straight up and bounced up and down. It was like just a towering line drive. He had his lob wedge out.
Here's Selecki. Selecki rolls, fires, and is nearly intercepted. Judge got 2 hands on the football and could not come up with it. That was Caleb Joseph, the 4th leading receiver by receptions in the Catholic League, doubling as a linebacker and could not come up with the easy pick.
Yeah, that was a pretty close one. Selecki has to be more careful.
And a couple sloppy throws here early by Danny. Not typically what we're used to seeing, but
he's struggling early on.
6 minutes, 10 seconds to play. A scoreless first quarter between LaSalle and Father Judge here on senior night at Plymouth White Marsh High School. Joey Burnham in the backfield along with Selecki. Selecki now will run it up the middle. Selecki gets by the first would-be tackler and is flattened at the 35-yard line. Will be 3rd and 3.
Ed Fahey, linebacker there, just taking a hold of Danny, and usually we're seeing Manny Keelis take those kinds of hits. I hope Danny, I don't know if he gets them in practice, Jason, but that probably didn't feel too familiar to him.
Yeah, hopefully Selecki stays away from the big hits.
Clock ticks, 5 minutes, 35 seconds to play, first quarter. Still scoreless here. 3rd down and 3. Selecki looks to Holland, makes the play. It'll be close. Depends what spot they give him. The referee looks like he's giving him a spot short of the first down marker. So decision time for LaSalle. It should be about 4th and 1. But the face mask penalty that came in will give them a first down.
So that prevents any. I would have been interested to see, without the flag, what Coach Steinmetz might have done here. Early on, maybe try to stuff it up the middle, pick up the first down. You're probably just on the edge of Karish's kicking. What do you think? You're at about
from the
30?
They would have been at the 33. I don't think so. That would have been about 50 yards. Now here's Selecki dropping back. Pressure comes. Throws over the top. Holland. Touchdown. LaSalle.
And that's the kind of throw we've come to see and expect from Danny Selecki over these last few weeks. Finding his top target and putting a beautiful ball up in the air, and Holland comes down with the reception and a gorgeous touchdown for the Explorers to start the scoring here tonight.
Yeah, that's the type of play that we like to see when Selecki, when he goes deep for one of his targets, Troy or Brett Malley.
Now Daniel Karish on to kick the extra point. Karish's kick is up and it is good, and the LaSalle Explorers lead 7-0 over Father Judge. This portion of today's game brought to you by our friends at Dunphy Ford at 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in the Northeast, or online at dunphyford.com. Guys, it's senior night here today, but on Sunday, another joyous occasion for LaSalle College High School. It's the open house, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Come on by if you want see yourself as a future explorer and want to see what LaSalle is all about. You can come to 8605 Cheltenham Avenue and see everything that the beautiful campus and the rigorous curriculum has to offer. And, of course, the family atmosphere at LaSalle.
I'll be there.
Will you be?
Yes, sir.
You can get to meet Jason Bempa. You can get his autograph. Not anybody can get into the press box up here, so that might be your time to meet him.
And also, don't forget to go up to the chem labs. Check out Mrs. Stott showing off some chemistry stuff. I don't know.
Beakers, test
beakers, chemicals.
Absolutely.
Doing some experiments.
Now deep to return, Caleb Joseph and Steve Arrington as Karish sends it away. It's Joseph. They angle it towards him. Joseph puts his foot in the ground, now heads upfield, has room, is pulled down and run out of bounds.
That was a strong return. Just able to slip by tackles left and right and work his way up the sideline. And
yeah, that was a really shifty move. He almost broke for a big one right there.
4 or 5 Explorers got a hand on Joseph before he was finally wrestled out of bounds. Being run out of bounds is another Explorer pulled back at the jersey, and a late flag here as holding is the call. So now the second holding call or second penalty against the special teams of Father Judge on consecutive opportunities to do so.
Flags on both sides. Well, I'd say both sides, but it's special teams and defense here that have really set them back early on in this one. You know, you get the face mask that gives LaSalle a fresh set of downs on what would have been 4th down. Now a couple of special teams holding calls or blocking calls that really set them back.
Shane Dooley in the shotgun. A handoff to Tim Weldon. Weldon runs into a mass of humanity at the line of scrimmage. LaSalle filling the gaps well and letting the linebackers make the play.
Yeah, LaSalle, they've been stacking the box, and it looks like tonight they're going to force Father Judge to throw it down the field.
You have a little bit more size on the offensive, or I should say defensive line here for LaSalle than Judge even has on the offensive line. So at that point, from a run defense perspective, you're looking to fill gaps and then let linebackers, really athletic linebackers, make the play. And really save for that long run off tackle by Tim Weldon. They've done a nice job of doing just that.
Yeah, the whole season, the defense, they played pretty well. They've given up a few big plays, but overall, they contained the opposing offense to very few yards.
Dooley runs out of room and is sacked back at the 3-yard line. Ball might have come loose. They fight for it. LaSalle thinks they have it. Still no call, although the line judge on the far side does have his hand up indicating 3rd down. So that is indeed the call.
Good recognition there by the line. Dooley looked like he was getting ready to tuck it and run, but they were just able to surround him in time before he's able to get away and bring him down for a pretty big sack.
3rd down and 17 yards.
This one where you cut your losses and go draw?
Yeah, probably. I don't see them doing anything else. Definitely not throwing the ball.
Play clock running down at 2, down to 1, snap. And a big hit. There was initial contact by one of the linebackers. I think Traynor spun off that initial tackle and was met by another Explorer. No gain on the play, and Judge will have to punt from the shadow of their own goalpost.
And these are interesting plays to watch, even at the professional level, so it'll be interesting to see here how Judge handles this punt and what the Explorers decide to do.
Look at where you can't see it on the camera here, but Troy Holland and Brett Malley have their heels on the 35-yard line. High snap. They do get the punt off. This a better punt. Malley over there to get it. And it's run out of bounds as he did not make the fair catch call. But it's now LaSalle offense back onto the field at the 33-yard line of Father Judge with 2:37 to play in the first quarter, leading 7-0.
Typically, when you see those punt formations, from end to end, you look at the punter on one side and the receiver on the other side. You're talking maybe 50, 60 yards in between from one end to the other. There, it was barely 30.
Yeah, the Explorers, they knew the punt wasn't coming too far, so they stayed pretty close.
Did you say 60 yards?
I didn't think about it. I think professional level.
Oh, professional, okay.
Yeah.
Understood. High formation. Malley is the man in motion. They fake the give. Selecki has to get rid of it. Does not. Probably a good decision. Might have fumbled that ball, but it's going to be a huge loss.
Yeah.
Loss of 12 on the sack.
My eyes were in the secondary following the receivers. It looked like there were a couple open guys. Big breakdown at the offensive line.
Yeah, the bootleg, it took a lot of time to develop, and by the time it did, Selecki didn't really have a good opportunity to throw the ball deep downfield.
Second down, 21 yards, according to the scoreboard. We'll tick under 2 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Little wildcat.
It is Malley. Selecki is split out wide. Malley cuts upfield, tripped up. Great play defensively by Ed Fahey. The tight end and a linebacker plays on both sides and makes the play, cuts down what could have been a big gain.
I recognize that only because I saw a near side receiver who ended up being actually quarterback Danny Selecki bouncing up and down because he had no one on him. But a little late help got over there, I guess. Designed run anyway, wouldn't expect Malley to be slinging it out to him.
I guess after the big sack, the offensive coordinator decided why not try some wildcat.
Malley is 1 for 2 throwing the football this year. Both passes intended for Joey Burnham. That came in the McDonough game. Now they're setting up a screen. And Malley hit behind the line. A flag comes in late. Big time tackle there by Mark McGuire. Flag came in late. Could have been a hold against LaSalle. We'll see what the call is. And LaSalle, the punting unit will come onto the field. That's exactly the call, holding against the Explorers. Which makes that tackle by McGuire even more impressive.
I was just about to say.
All right, again, not on your screen. Steve Arrington, heels on the 4-yard line.
So
unlike a center field position in baseball, your first step better be forward here. Good punt from Karish. Angles it. And it's going to take a nice LaSalle bounce. We'll get to the 11-yard line. So well done by Karish. Again, I think an opportunity wasted there for Steve Arrington, and Father Judge gives up probably 7 to 8 yards by putting his heels on the 3 there rather than about the 10, where you can come up and get that ball on the fly.
I did say the professional level, but there we saw, Karish was back on the 40. You had Arrington basically on his goal line, 60 yards there. But, we see complete polar opposites,
Yeah.
That's right.
I guess Judge, they've been watching film on Karish. They know he has a boot.
He does have a boot. Any looks for Karish? Have you heard anything about?
I'm not aware.
Kicking? No?
I'm not
That'd
aware.
Be interesting to see. Cause
it certainly may be the case. That's not that he hasn't. It's more to our ignorance up here in the booth. Lone setback because Weldon again runs into a crowd and goes nowhere. Maybe a yard for Weldon.
Now we're starting to see this defensive line. I feel like we've talked about it the first play of the last couple drives here now. They're starting to impose their will.
And the big man, number 77, Garrett Zobel, getting credit for a couple of tackles in a row here, just stuffing the running backs of Father Judge at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's what's been consistent for the Explorers all year, though. Their defensive line and the offensive line, both lines just being bigger and more experienced than opposing teams.
Here's the 4 starters out there. Kuznetsov, Ross, Zobel, and Chris Maloney. 2nd down and 9. Dooley, they're going to run the screenplay. Good catch by Caleb Joseph. Joseph taken down by Frank Joyce, stays with the tackle, and saves what could have been a first down.
That was an excellent diving shoelace-like tackle to prevent what could have been a huge play there for Father Judge.
Yeah, Frankie Joyce didn't make that tackle. They definitely would have got the first down and maybe a lot more.
And that's the end of the first quarter here at Plymouth White Marsh High School, I should say, as the Crusaders will face a 3rd down when we come back here on BLS.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
Plymouth White Marsh High School, the site of tonight's LaSalle College High School football game, live on BLS. Bob Long, Rob Stott, Jason Bempa, and we have Kevin Long on camera here this evening. 3rd down and 6 upcoming for the Crusaders of Father Judge, dressed in the white with the white helmets and the light blue pants, moving from left to right.
LaSalle got the color rush memo going on here.
Thursday night football.
Dooley spinning, can't find anybody, and is very fortunate to get rid of the ball. Stayed with it.
Love the aggressiveness by that line, just able to get off away from their blocks and just force Dooley into what's been an uncomfortable situation for most part of the night.
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't a holding call there.
Likely would have been declined anyway, as it's now 4th down and 6, and Holland and Malley plant their heels on the 45-yard line. Ryan Jakeman, listed as a running back and a defensive back there to kick. Jakeman's kick, wobbly one, caught at the 50 by Holland. Holland cuts back to the near side, has a block there, and scoots out of bounds at the 41.
Pretty solid return for Holland. Got a few yards and got right out of bounds.
snaps there just seem like they happen in slow motion.
Yeah.
It's like they got some arc to it.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a block punt tonight.
Block punt.
I'm calling it.
Talk about riverboating.
Going after the punt. Jason has loved that since he's come on board. He always wants to go after it. Why not, right? It's an exciting play. One of the most exciting plays in football. Selecki now looks to the sideline after the hard count. Nearly got a couple of Crusaders jumping offside. Now in the pistol. The give is to Octavius Carter. Octavius Carter knocked down 1 yard past the line of scrimmage.
Looked like a little bit of confusion there between Selecki and Carter. Like Selecki thought Carter was going one way, ended up going the other. Could have forced a bit of an issue with that handoff and prevented, any yards from actually being gained.
Yeah, I think that's just lack of chemistry. Carter has yet to be an every down back. Maybe Manny Keyless is hurt tonight. Is that the reason why? But, yeah, a little confusion between Selecki and Carter.
Tight formation here for the Explorers. Shotgun snap. Selecki has time. Throws over the middle. Holland makes the play, turns the legs forward. Nice play to stay with that tackle. Number 44, Mark McGuire.
Looked like he was stuck in a little bit of quicksand there, trying to, high step out of that tackle, but just unable to get away from McGuire.
Yeah, he didn't want to go down, but McGuire, he had a good tackle.
Got to get those treadmill workouts in, Rob. Well, we can't say it any better than that. 6 ABC High School Huddle Game of the Week. Oh. And that time there was some contact on the offensive line, so the hard count got the Crusaders to bite. Will be a first down.
Savvy vet, Dan Selecki.
I was going to say maybe it was the announcement that Jeff Skaversky will be talking about this game later tonight. Maybe distracted the defensive line there.
Is that your boy?
Oh.
Clock now runs 10 minutes, 40 seconds to play second quarter. LaSalle leading 7-0 against Father Judge and driving in Crusader territory.
Can we credit that flag to Chris Carabello?
Certainly can. Brett Malley is the deep back here in the pistol. Joey Burnham to the right of Selecki, adjusting the play at the line. 5 seconds on the play clock. The give is to Malley. Malley, and this one should come back, a holding call as he scoots forward for a gain of 8.
Yeah, it'll be a holding call on Burnham.
Burnham not sure which way Malley was going. Got kind of a little confused by his teammate who was shifting around there back behind him and just held on a little bit too long.
Rob, you're right about these handoffs, though. There's something not right.
Yep.
Selecki has to extend that ball extra to get it to Malley that time.
Yeah. Manny is yet to take a snap tonight, so maybe the Explorers just trying to rotate some of the other backs in the night. And I don't think they've been used to playing this much so far, so a little confusion on the handoff.
A reminder for the LaSalle Explorers, next week is a bye.
Yeah.
And following that is a Saturday game against Roman Catholic at the Super Site down in South Philadelphia. So it'll be 15 days between games for this LaSalle Explorers team. Selecki looking for the lob. Marvin Harrison makes the play down at the 9-yard line. The 6'3 freshman doesn't even leave his feet, just reaches those large hands up and makes the play.
Yeah, great play by the freshman, putting LaSalle in the red zone tonight.
Looks like that kid might have some football blood running through his veins or something. I don't know.
Nah, really, Rob?
I don't know.
You think so?
Maybe. It's possible.
Harrison lines up in the slot. Harrison now has caught a ball in all but one game this season as a freshman. Selecki scrambles, throws it to the corner and just out past the arms of Troy Holland.
Yeah, with Selecki, when he switched directions, Troy, he was calling for the ball. He wanted that touchdown.
Just a little bit difficult on the move like that.
Yeah.
That's a difficult throw to make for Selecki.
Yeah, very hard throw.
Need a little more oomph behind it.
Second down and goal from the 9.
Marvin uncovered at the top of the screen. Top of the far side of the field now.
Yep, now a defensive back comes on, and a flag will come in. This should go against the Explorers. False start. So that play, a gift wrap touchdown if they would have seen it. Nobody covered, like you said, Rob, on Marvin Harrison. They couldn't get the snap off in time. And then movement on the line of scrimmage brings up a 2nd down and goal from the 14. Burnham on the shift. Handoff to Malley. He has a lead blocker going for the edge. To the pylon, dives. Touchdown, LaSalle.
Wow, what a job by that Malley diving for the pylon there, extending the ball just over the goal line to get the call there. That was an impressive run. Nice job by him stretching it out, knowing that he's got the speed and just enough space in front of him to be able to punch the ball in there.
Yeah, great play by Malley, showing his versatility. So far this season, he snaps his quarterback, wide receiver, and running back.
Daniel Karish on to attempt the point after. That score comes at 9:36 to play in the second quarter. Kick is up, and the kick is good from Daniel Karish. Explorers lead 14-0 over the Crusaders of Father Judge.
You know, thinking back to the team last year, it was pretty clear kind of the rushing attack you were going to get. You were going to get Zaire Madden. You know, a little bit of Manny Keelis subbed in there every once in a while for a change of pace to give Zaire a break. This year, you look up and down the stats for this team. I mean, there's one guy, and that's Manny, over 200 yards, 250 yards. The rest of this team, I mean, it's just, you don't know who's going to be coming at you. So it's kind of an interesting tactic for this Explorers team because who do you prep for as a defense?
Yeah, I think that's what makes this team unique, what makes it different. You never know who you're going to get. Some players you're going to get Octavius. Some players you're going to get Manny. Some players you're going to get Brett Malley. And then when Zay was healthy, he had a lot of design runs too. So the versatility is shown in the running game.
And don't sleep on Danny Selecki.
And Danny Selecki, he has a few design runs for big yardage this year too.
Daniel Karish kicks it deep. And out of the end zone, big boot from number 18 for the Explorers. This portion of today's game brought to you by our friends at Dunphy Ford, a wonderful dealership in Northeast Philadelphia. Visit them at 7700 Frankfurt Avenue or at dunphyford.com, whether you want a new car, used car, whatever your purposes may be. Go in there, say hello to Kevin Dunphy, and he'll take care of you. Just tell him that Bob Long Sports sent you. And also might be time, Rob, to ask where you at. Where our good friends and family are watching this game from, as the pitch is now to Caleb Joseph. Joseph to the outside, staying with the play well. Great job by the Explorers. Brennan Daly was in there along with number 45 for the Explorers.
Dylan Trainer.
Nice play by the sophomore linebacker Trainer. But yes, so where you at, Rob, right? Tweet at us.
I'm right next to you, Bob.
Hey, that's where you're watching from. How about that? But tweet at us at Bob Long Sports. We'll give you a shout on the air and appreciate everybody being with us. The numbers have been phenomenal, especially from those of you that either away at college or don't live in the area. It's a big part of the reason we do this. So please give us a shout. Where are you watching from? Dooley nearly ran into Matchett. Stays with it. Nice throw over the middle, but Devin Smith makes the play. Big play from Smith. Ball was intended for Ryan Jakeman.
Yeah, great play by safety Devin Smith, breaking up the big pass.
Perfectly timed. I mean, you know, a second earlier, and that could have been easily called a pass interference, but just well timed by Devin to get in there and break that pass up.
Third down and 10. Shane Dooley back into the huddle, looking for answers here, this Judge team against LaSalle. This team that's thrown for the most yards in the Philadelphia Catholic League has not had that success yet tonight, but the weapons are certainly there. Roten drops a few yards back. Dooley looking deep, throws over the top, has a man. Caleb Joseph comes back to it and makes the play.
Yeah, before that big play.
And a flag comes in late.
Yeah, before that big play, Judge, they have yet to have pretty big plays on the passing game, but I think that could be attributed to LaSalle being a different type of defense that they play this year.
This might be some sort of face mask based on the timing that it came in. I don't think that it's any type of pass interference. So if it's a face mask, it would add on. Let's see what the call was, though. It didn't appear. Now that was the call. A face mask against the LaSalle Explorers. So that's a 5-yard, the catch and release, as they say.
Forgot that was a thing.
College and high school, Rob. 10 yards at the college level for the grasp and release. So now Judge right back into the game here. That's a running back catching that ball, by the way, guys, not to be forgotten. Here's the handoff, Tin Weldon. Weldon dragged down by Liam Tatlangari, coming from the weak side linebacker position.
That was an impressive job by Tatlangari to get over and wrap the runner up and not let him get away. Bring him down actually for what looks like a short loss, maybe half a yard.
Second down and 11. Under 8 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Dooley in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the far side of your screen. Dooley spins away from Ronnie Ross. Gets hit as he delivers.
Wow.
He got crunched in the backfield. Incomplete.
Gotta feel that one getting up. My word.
Liam Trainer trying to put him on the trainer's table after that hit. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Trainer speared him.
Dooley up as if he wasn't hit. Give him some credit as well. Quarterback really tough.
Maybe he should have just went down when Ronnie tried to get him.
Tell you what, though, he had a man. He had Nick Conway open deep, the 5'11 senior wide receiver. He just couldn't quite get it there. Didn't have the time to get that throw off cleanly. Third down and 11. Rolls to his weak side. Kuznetsov on the run. Dives for him and gets him in the backfield. Danny Kuznetsov with a big-time sack.
I'm going to do it. Looked like that guy was on ice skates getting to him.
Yeah.
I love it, Rob. That's a big-time senior play on senior night, and that means a lot to the Kuznetsov family. That is a great play to make there.
Yeah, that's a dangerous front seven. They have speed on both ends. The linebacker core is pretty good. That's a dangerous front seven.
Here we go. Ball at the 33-yard line, 4th and 12. Judge offense with their best drive of the night stays on the field on 4th down. They need the 23 for a first down. Here's Dooley back. Dooley avoids one. Doesn't avoid the second. Liam Trainer, another sack. And LaSalle gets the ball back on the turnover on downs.
Yeah, Danny Kay and Liam Trainer, they're both the story of that drive, making big hit after big hit. But Danny Kay really saved the Explorers on that 3rd down, being able to break them down when the quarterback was on the run.
And it's clear that, this defensive line is really starting to test Father Judge up front. They overmatched them in size, and it's just starting to get to them.
Guys, I think there's something to this. Kuznetsov, a senior, right, on senior night. Liam Trainer, the other guy you mentioned, Jason, also a senior. We go across the front for the starters. Danny Kuznetsov, a senior. Garrett Zobel, a senior. Ronnie Ross, a transfer, is a junior. Chris Maloney, a senior. Colin Hirschman will really plug in for any one of those guys as well, also a senior. Brennan Daly, senior. Jason Kessler, senior. Malley nearly breaks the tackle, But to finish that off, Austin Lemke, who plays a lot, he's really the pure middle linebacker on this team, senior. Liam Traynor, senior. Bill Wasilenko talks about offensive and defensive lines. When LaSalle has had senior-laden lines is when they've had their best teams. And this is a very solid foundation that this team has cultivated over 4 years, and you're seeing it put into practice here this season and certainly tonight.
Yeah, the front seven, they're pretty good. They're really good. But they played together a lot over time, and I think that benefited them. They had growing pains last year as being majority juniors on the defense, but as you can see, it paid off.
Handoff to Octavius Carter. Big hole there to the 50, down to the 45. Malley ahead in blocking. Taken down at the 35. Great pulling on the outside there by the guard and shoving the linebackers to the inside while the tackle takes care of business and pushes towards the sideline. A big gash.
And on the back end of that play, I love the patience by Carter waiting for the block to develop downfield, giving his guy time in front of him to help gain just a couple extra yards at the end of that play.
5 minutes, 20 seconds to play, second quarter, 14-0 LaSalle over Father Judge. Driving in Crusader territory. Burnham gets the give, cuts up the middle. 18-yard run for Joey Burnham.
Again, shows the versatility in the running game. You have a fullback that's able to get you a first down. That's pretty impressive.
Just play after play, you're seeing different weapons get worked into this offense.
How about this? 3 receivers bunched on the tight side of the field. Handoff up the middle. Rumbling forward. The legs keep churning, and Burnham! Touchdown, LaSalle.
It's crazy.
Wow, just did not give up on that play. Joey Burnham showing just how strong of a runner he is, listed as a fullback. 5'9", 190. The senior, it's
Senior
impressive.
Night, yeah.
I don't know what else to say. That was just, he did not give up.
Yeah, LaSalle, we're so deep at the skill position. Even your fullback can break open big runs. It's pretty impressive.
So exciting that we got a moth up in here too. He's just bouncing all over the place. He can't handle how strong of a run that was. It's just so impressed.
You never surprise me. 21-0 LaSalle.
Show the Bugs some love.
Why not, right? Where are they watching from? The press box, apparently.
Who invited them in? I guess we did by opening the windows.
21-0 LaSalle, 4:44 to play, second quarter. Your broadcast team here tonight, Bob Long, Rob Stott, Jason Bempa, and Kevin Long on camera. Great to be here with everybody on senior night for LaSalle, the 4-1 Explorers. They've put up 40 points in their last 3 games. And 4 out of their 5 games this season. Ironically enough, all wins. Kick is deep. And here comes Arrington up the middle. Tripped down just short of the 25-yard line, and the Crusaders will get back on offense.
While we got a moment, if you don't mind, throw out the big shout out to Nancy Diani from our faithful listener from Clarkston, Michigan.
Love that. And tweeter, faithful tweeter
and
as
tweeter
well.
Every week. The Zobel boys, Garrett obviously senior night tonight.
Congratulations, Nancy and team, and all the Clarkston family out there for a beautiful senior night for Garrett and a great career at LaSalle.
And a quick thanks for the heads up from Stephanie Adams asking that we congratulate Coach Traynor and LaSalle's freshman team on their win today over Father Judge, 26-12.
Here's the drop back. Dooley avoids one, throws over the middle, wide open there, cutting up the field. And out of bounds, past the 45-yard line. Nice gain there by Father Judge as LaSalle sold out on the blitz. So yes, Rob, I concur with Stephanie. Congratulations to Kieran Trainer, a good friend of ours, and getting his first coaching gig. He's doing a great job with that program and is a star in the making at LaSalle, both from an administrative perspective and from a coaching perspective.
And he does a heck of a job as well, I have to say, chaperoning dances.
Yeah.
Done quite a few of those with him.
Shout out to Coach Trainer.
Excellent chaperone. Top notch, if I do say so.
Here's Tim Weldon up the middle. Hit 1 yard in front of the line and dropped there. Pushed back by, looked like Jason Kessler got in there, along with Chris Maloney. I love Jason Kessler in his game. He's a little guy that can play as a safety, can play as a linebacker, and this year has done a lot of good things for this team. 2nd and 9. We tick under 4 minutes to play second quarter. Father Judge, they've had a couple drives, Jason, where they've gotten into LaSalle territory, but haven't come up with anything yet.
Yeah, definitely.
Dooley gets a first down here with a big-time throw across the middle, and Arrington, for his trouble, hanging in there, getting hit big by Devin Smith.
Yeah, for the most part, they've done it on the ground, getting big runs, but the quarterback, he's throwing a few good passes too. So,
Jason, what was the talk around the halls here this week as LaSalle was moving towards what I believe is the earliest senior day, at least that I've ever seen, and perhaps in program history?
Yeah, senior day is pretty early, but it's Explorers' last regular season home game, so they had to have it early. But they were just excited overall to get back out on the field tonight and face Father Judge. It was a nice challenge before the bye week.
3 receivers to the far side of your screen. LaSalle wraps up in the backfield. Great penetration on all sides. Liam Trainer got first contact, but Maloney was in there, as well as Leland Mursky. Under 3 minutes to play, second quarter. Shane Dooley in the shotgun. They throw the 3 over there. Jakeman, as well as Caleb Joseph and Steve Arrington, all bunched.
Oh, wow.
Chris Maloney, a huge sack.
Tough.
Loss of 15 yards.
Just running his man over, not giving up. I mean, just had his eyes set on Dooley and found his mark. I mean, that was just an impressive job by the defensive end.
Dooley's flirted with danger over that way, Jason. Rolling to that side. He's comfortable throwing there, obviously, but Chris Maloney, as good a speed rusher as there is in this league, and just was able to blow by the tackle right into where Dooley was scrambling.
Yeah, Dooley, he got away with that a few times. The Explorers, their defensive line missed a few tackles, but that time, Toph was able to get to him.
We got a big update from Buddy Werner here, but we'll call the third down play. 3rd and very long. Dooley cutting up the middle and taken down after a gain of 1. Leland Mursky would not let go. And Father Judge will now have a decision to make with 1 minute 41 seconds to play. And a timeout called by LaSalle. They want the ball back.
And that was a nice job by Mursky to, that was basically a one-handed tackle from the ground. Just reaching up, getting a hold of Dooley's legs and not letting him go.
So the update from Buddy Werner on Twitter. At the soccer game here tonight, the match between LaSalle and Roman Catholic. And this is a big one, 6-0 against 6-0. LaSalle scores right before the half. Chris Lenge gets the goal, and it's 1-0 Explorers in the battle of the 2 best in the Catholic League. Oh, I apologize, Rob. I didn't see that correctly. Chris Metzler scored the goal on the assist from Chris Lenge. So a point for both of them, but my apologies to Chris Metzler. Metzler, a guy that got a lot of time last year as a sophomore, really as technically sound as any guy they have, and good for him to get that goal. Now Jakeman's kick comes off the side of his foot. Takes a decent hop, before getting out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
All told, one of the better punts for Father Judge tonight. Didn't look good coming off the foot, but did take a nice bounce.
While we're talking soccer as well, I don't know if you guys are soccer guys, but there's another night game. Day games are a little tough for me, unfortunately, but really want to get out and call a soccer match. And if this game were another night or that game were another night, this Roman game would have been a perfect one to get out to. But the other very strong team year after year in the Catholic League is this Father Judge soccer team. And that game's a Monday night, 7 o'clock p.m., October the 9th. So tentatively, for those of you LaSalle fans, mark your calendars for that. We're going to try to get out there and call that game. Brett Malley up the sideline, big run. Up just short of the 50, $1:25 to play second quarter.
And a nice passing catch to start this drive by Selecki finding Malley. Coming across the field, Malley able to turn it up and pick up a big first down here early in this 2-minute drill offense.
That's definitely a game we should try to catch, though. LaSalle soccer, they've been pretty good this season, undefeated in PCL play.
Selecki across the middle has Octavius Carter. Carter tries to get to the outside, dropped the football, and is very fortunate to fall back on it.
That's the kind of play. That's the second time we've seen Carter make that kind of move where he cuts back, running laterally across the field, horizontally, I should say, across the field. Needs to just turn it up or go down.
There's a possibility to get by the sticks there and get a momentary stoppage as well. Selecki across the middle. That'll stop the clock after the big catch across the middle. Liam Traynor makes the play. It's funny. Remember the game where Traynor had the touchdown and we thought it was number 8? He's got that same thing with his jersey. Actually, that is number 8 that made the catch. And that's Brett Malley with a 3-yard catch. So that was Sean Duffy, the tight end, number 8, that made the play.
Yeah, when the jerseys fold up, they look very similar.
Yeah, whoever made that decision to give Duffy 8 and Traynor 9, from Bob Long, really, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's made my job much easier this season.
Yeah, I thought that was Traynor too, but it was number 8, Sean Duffy.
Timeout on the field, 47.5 to play. We'll take a quick break. We'll hear from Dunphy Ford and then come back.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
Second down and 7, 47.5 seconds to play here in the second quarter. LaSalle already leading 28-0. Looking to tack on 7 more before half. Brett Malley alongside Danny Selecki in the backfield. Selecki throws out wide, good catch. And stepping out of bounds is Holland.
And this whole drive, Selecki's been looking that way to Holland. Holland's had 2 guys on him pretty much the entire drive, pretty much the whole night.
And that time, Steve Arrington giving a lot of cushion there. Easy pitch and catch.
Expecting Holland to turn it upfield, but just a nice job picking up yards.
Plenty of time here for LaSalle. 2 timeouts to play with. 42.2 seconds to play. Love that they give us that extra decimal point. Selecki across the middle. Marvin Harrison through the hands. Maybe just the least bit behind him, but Marvin Harrison, I think, trying to break that next tackle before making the catch.
Yeah, it was a good look by Selecki, but I think he threw it a little behind him, and there wasn't enough heat on it. But Marvin, he was definitely looking to score on that play.
Second down and 10, 37.1 to play, second quarter. Sean Duffy in the tight end position along with Brett Malley split out wide to his right. Handoff to Carter. Big block in front. Carter runs forward for a gain and is knocked down. LaSalle's going to need to burn a timeout, and they do with 29 seconds to play. The second of 3 timeouts available.
I'm not a huge fan of the run call right there. I like a shot at the end zone right there.
What play you calling there, Jason?
A shot to the end zone.
Shot to the end zone?
Yeah.
That'll be 3rd down now and 6. And it will beg the question, if it comes to this, is this 4-down territory? From the perspective of, do you trust, let's say it's an incomplete pass here just for conversation purposes, you're looking at a 34-yard field goal. Would you be comfortable kicking that with Daniel Karish?
Yeah, I think it's a kick Karish can definitely make, but in my opinion, why not go for the end zone? You get the ball at halftime, so I think you take the shot.
Surrounded by 2 guys that love to take the chance. I say 34, that's well in Karish's wheelhouse. He could take a kick 10 yards further if he absolutely needed to.
Karish has the range, but why not take the shot?
Unblocked. Good throw over there to Brett Malley. Has to break a tackle, cannot. Good play on the outside. Number 4, Nick Conway makes the play. And Brett Malley goes down in a little bit of pain. Not a good sign for LaSalle there.
So, they've been able to avoid that other than the obvious with Isaiah for the most part this year, big injuries. But it looked like it was a low hit, not like a bad low hit, but just one that got him good.
I think he just kind of got him, maybe bone on bone there. Nothing wrong with that hit.
No.
It's football, fortunately or unfortunately. So the timeout is on the play. And
now, do they charge within 2 minutes injury? Do they charge that to LaSalle?
I'm not sure if they will. We'll take a break here and hear from our partners at Dunphy Ford.
Dunphy Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
Daniel Karish stands alone at the 24-yard line, where he will toe it up and try to put it through the uprights. And the clock ticks down inside 1 second. LaSalle will call that timeout there. So that injury timeout was not counted against the LaSalle Explorers. Then the clock continued to run at that point on the official's whistle. And LaSalle let it run down to the final play of the first half.
Karish still out there alone. Be interesting to see how he does at 11-on-1 with a field goal. Here come the Explorers.
The holder will be Danny Selecki. From the left hash. Malley, before being taken down and injured on the play, did gain 2. So this will be a 32-yard field goal from the left hash, the final play of the first half. Karish perfect on extra points tonight. This his first attempt of the game. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 24-0, LaSalle leads on the boot from Daniel Karish. And the Explorers again put an impressive first half on the board, leading by 4 scores. Bob Long, Rob Stott, Jason Bempa, Kevin Long on camera. Rob, one quick thought on what you saw in the first half.
It was an interesting first half for Danny Selecki. Started out a little slow. Some sloppy throws out of our starting quarterback here tonight, but got on a roll. Liked that the drive had to close on a 2-minute drill for him, and he's looking impressive. So it was nice to see him sort of struggle through those mechanical issues and sort it out and put together a pretty impressive half overall.
Jason.
Although the score is 24-0, I think the credit still has to go to the defensive line. Danny Kaye, Toph Maloney, they've been able to get into the backfield and able to make some plays, sacking the quarterback, big hits, especially the big one that Toph gave the quarterback. That was a pretty big hit. But.
It is 24-0 after 24 minutes of play here at Plymouth White Marsh High School. We'll take a break and come back for the halftime show here on BLS. This portion of today's game brought to you by Dunphy Ford.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
People ask me why I'm giving up a year of my life to help kids. I say, who says I'm giving up anything?
If kids who drop out are 8 times more likely to end up in prison, do we open more prisons or mines?
What's going on, folks? This is Bob Long from Bob Long Sports. We're live here at the Wells Fargo Center before each and every Philadelphia Soul home game. We record this now before Arena Bowl 30, and the Philadelphia Soul, the winningest team in Philadelphia. Bob Long Sports is your spot for live video pregame shows with Bob Long, Eric Nash, and Rob Stott. We even have the opportunity to talk with the AFL Commissioner, Scott Butera. We appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. You do a terrific job, and God bless all of you and the folks of Philadelphia, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Scott.
Appreciate it.
Tune in before every home game for the Philadelphia Soul official pregame show on Bob Long Sports.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
People ask me why I'm giving up a year of my life to help kids. I say, who says I'm giving up anything?
If kids who drop out are 8 times more likely to end up in prison, do we open more prisons or mines?
What's going on, folks? This is Bob Long from Bob Long Sports. We're live here at the Wells Fargo Center before each and every Philadelphia Soul home game. We record this now before Arena Bowl 30, and the Philadelphia Soul, the winningest team in Philadelphia. Bob Long Sports is your spot for live video pregame shows with Bob Long, Eric Nash, and Rob Stott. We even have the opportunity to talk with the AFL Commissioner, Scott Butera. We appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. You do a terrific job, and God bless all of you and the folks of Philadelphia, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Scott.
Appreciate it.
Tune in before every home game for the Philadelphia Soul official pregame show on Bob Long Sports. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back into our broadcast booth for the halftime show here on Bob Long Sports. This is Rob Stott. This is Jason Bempa. Kevin Long is behind the camera, and I'm Bob Long here. Welcome, everybody, back into the game, and thanks to everybody who's been with us here tonight. Rob, another update from the soccer pitch, and Jason, your LaSalle Explorers, really your LaSalle Explorers, not you, Rob, but
not no more.
A little bit younger, are leading 2-0. Chris Metzler with 2 goals, and that has netted LaSalle that 2-0 advantage over Roman Catholic, also 6-0 and undefeated in the Catholic League. Could be a big result tonight if it holds.
Yeah, going to the game, we all knew it was a big game with LaSalle and Roman both undefeated in PCL play, so they're out battling for the #1 spot, and Chris Metzler gave us 2 goals, so good night so far.
Very good night. Now, you know who else had a great night? On Saturday night was the Penn State Nittany Lions. For those of you Nittany Lion fans out there, a 21-19 winner over Iowa on the last play of the game, 4th and goal from the 6. Able to find Jawan Johnson, the big man.
McSorley, man.
Trace McSorley with a big-time play where he sneaks it right over the top of the linebacker. Jason, I don't know if you got to see any of that game, but really, really impressive from the Nittany Lions. Maybe not the whole game because there were opportunities to score. 2 field goals settled for when they were inside the 1-yard line, a blocked field goal, and a missed field goal by Tyler Davis. But nonetheless, they came up with the win they needed. Now they're going to have to win a game at home this weekend against Indiana, followed by Northwestern on the road. But that game in a vacuum, they got the result that they needed, Jason.
Yeah, I was watching the game with my dad Saturday night, and we were flipping back from that to SportsCenter. And it was, I forgot what the exact score was, but Penn State was down with about a minute left to go. And then we turned back to the game, and it was good to see them score on the last drive.
Yes, it was. And for those of you that follow Bob Long Sports, we have the Nittany Lions Sports Report every Monday night, and we bring on some of the best media personalities that Penn State, the football beat there, has to offer. We had Joe Giuliano from the Philadelphia Inquirer on this past week. We had Brian Tripp from Big Ten Network on 2 weeks prior, and then Corey Geiger, who does an EXPN radio show in State College in Altoona. So for those of you Nittany Lions fans out there, please join us on the Nittany Lion Sports Report. It's a video talk show, and it's a lot of fun. So, Rob, your takeaway from that game and this top 5 team in the country, Penn State, whether they have the goods to make the run?
It's impressive. I mean, they've got kind of the tools. You know, McSorley, it's a situation where I feel like it's almost you don't know what you're going to get out of him. Like, he seems like he could be that sort of next-level quarterback. And then he has drives where you're like, what was it? It's like head scratchers. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to watch, but, I mean, they're doing all the right things right now. That's a big win on the road in Iowa. I mean, unranked team, but you're talking about a team that has a knack for knocking off some ranked opponents in that house, you know, when that crowd gets behind them. So impressive win overall.
And it was a 3-0 Iowa team, though they were unranked. I mean, preseason rankings are a big portion and a big proportion of the reasoning behind a lot of those rankings this early in the season. But the Iowa Hawkeyes 3-1, and I think they're going to compete in the Big Ten West with Wisconsin to perhaps try to win that division. I think Wisconsin has a little bit more talent and will end up winning the game, which, by the way, Alex Hornibrook, who went to Malvern Prep, who obviously we called earlier this year when LaSalle played them, he is the starting quarterback of Malvern and went 90% throwing this past weekend, so very impressive for Wisconsin. The Big Ten is back, guys, and I think the reason why it's back is obviously great recruiting, but why is there such great recruiting? It's because of the coaches. It's because of the blue-chip, big-name coaches that have come to the conference in the last 5 years. I mean, James Franklin, we're talking about him with Penn State, of course, but Urban Meyer at Ohio State, Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, P.J. Fleck, he comes over to Minnesota. Even Paul Chryst, who wasn't the biggest name in the world, comes to Wisconsin. And, of course, now Jeff Brom doing good things at Purdue. Lovie Smith at Illinois. They haven't quite turned that around yet, but they'll get there. And then the stalwarts, the Kirk Ferentzes of the world, the Mark D'Antonios of the world. Kirk Ferentz, guys, at Iowa is actually the longest tenured head coach in all of college football. which is somewhat amazing given that a few years ago we're talking about Bobby Bowden and Joe Paterno doing this for 40-plus years. Now Kirk Ferentz at 21 years is the longest tenured football coach at the college level.
It's just not, the environment, the way college football operates these days. It just, I don't know if we'll ever see another Paterno or Bowden, guys that have work in a program and stay there for more than half their lives, it feels like. It's just, it's the way that, for whatever reason, and it's not just college football, it's all college sports. It feels like professional sports. There's so much turnover, but it's impressive to see those guys, that are staying there, that are hanging around, that are able to have sustained success. So I don't know. It seems like the Big Ten setting up for some of that with some of the names they've been able to pull in from the coaching ranks. So what do you think, Bob? Any other Bowdens or Paternos out there?
Not that I can see, although Kirk Ferentz is going to coach himself into another 6-year contract, meander along for another 4 years, and then have a Big Ten run in his contract year. So I think maybe. If he continues to do that, he's not leaving to go anywhere else, I wouldn't think, or he wouldn't willingly go anywhere else. It would be if Iowa pulled the trigger and then he has to go somewhere else.
The other thing is that you think about, the coaches that stayed at college, it's because that's where they wanted. That was the dream job, Professional football wasn't there sort of knocking at the door, kind of pulling these college coaches up to the next level. It's an interesting time.
Speaking of coaches that were enticed by the next level, Rick Pitino.
Let's talk about him.
And college basketball has
Scandalous.
been
rocked.
Absolutely rocked. You're exactly right, guys, by this scandal involving the shoe companies funneling money to recruits in order to come to a school at which that shoe company has a contract. And it's a multi-million-dollar business. Obviously, basketball being turned on its head. The question now for a lot of fans locally is, would Villanova get pulled into the mix? Nike has been subpoenaed at this point, along with obviously Adidas, which was the source for the entire thing being released by the FBI. Now, the question with Villanova, it's all surmise, of course, but when they talk about player 2, player 3, etc., one of the players from Miami thought to potentially be a local kid here that went to Miami that Villanova was also recruiting. Villanova obviously came up short in that race to get this individual, but that's the question. What was there? We won't really know. The gentleman that was the implicated one in Alabama was recruiting a highly touted kid that Villanova was not in the mix for, but Villanova was also in the mix for Riley Alkins, who went to play for Sean Miller at Arizona. Again, we're connecting dots that aren't there yet. There's so much to happen in this investigation, but I've had people approach me and ask, what do you think about Villanova? And the only thing I can tell them is facts, is that Villanova has at least been involved recruiting on players that are thought to be somewhat in the middle of this. They didn't get any of those recruits, which in this vacuum is probably encouraging.
Yeah, it's just it's funny to see this with the NCAA, because thinking beyond just Villanova, just the whole scope of everything, because this is it feels like it's been boiling, this whole massive type scandal where, it feels like it's been sort of secluded to the institution level with, academic scandals kind of roiling college football or college basketball. Recruiting scandals have happened. Louisville's been involved in a couple over the past few years, and other types of scandals that didn't involve money or recruiting, but, Rick Pitino in other ways. But just, it seems like the NCAA can't get out of its own way, whether it's the NCAA's fault with how they're sanctioning schools, the type of penalties they levy on schools, or the schools themselves, getting mixed up in all sorts of, recruitment scandals, or, who you think to Syracuse just a couple of years ago with Boeheim getting in trouble for, all kinds of issues. I don't know what's wrong with college sports right now, but it's greed. It all kind of feels like it goes back to greed with these schools wanting, whether it's recruits, whether it's money. They've got all kinds of issues happening. And it's tough to see because, at the end of the day, these are just kids here that are at these institutions that are trying to get to the next level. They want to continue participating in their sports and aiming for national championships. I don't know what the solution is. It's tough to watch, and I mean, it's unfortunate that you see big names like a Patino get pulled into this kind of thing, losing jobs over it. But it just, at the same time, it feels like more of the same.
Jason, any thoughts on what's come out from the NCAA? Not from the NCAA at all, actually.
Right.
From the FBI regarding college basketball.
Yeah, definitely. It's a pretty big scandal going on. College basketball, it's a lucrative business, but the players don't get any money. But sometimes the schools, they break violations with recruiting and doing different things, and money is often involved. So that's something to always think about.
No, that is a great point. Whether the players are getting paid through that NCAA regulation or not, Jason, which the answer right now is no. There is a black market for a secondary market for collegiate athletics, especially at the highest level for big-time recruits like that.
Yeah. Had a pretty interesting opportunity a couple years ago. I was working for an organization in D.C. that worked with associations and whatnot. Had the opportunity to attend the NCAA's annual meeting when it was down in Washington, and it was around the time, I don't know if you remember, Bob, it was around the time they were voting whether or not they wanted to pass a new set of bylaws. They were basically reorganizing their board, and they invited students onto the board. And this was around the time that Jay Billis was kind of spearheading. It felt like spearheading the discussion around paying college athletes. Sure. But it seems like they're trying to make the progression towards getting students involved in some way to have a say in the decision of what goes on and how college sports is governed. I don't know if we'll ever get to the point where they are paid. I am in the camp, a former college athlete, they should get paid in some way. They pull so much money into the program, into their schools, into their institutions, especially sports like football and basketball, that it only seems right that they're repaid for that in some fashion.
Yeah, the players, they definitely have the right to want to be paid. I was watching SportsCenter the other week, and it said Ohio State football was worth $2 billion. Whew. And that's a college team right there, and the players make nothing. Although they have the opportunity to go on scholarship, and that's a blessing in itself, they probably do need money while they're living on campus. So.
Yeah,
and there are stipends and things like that they can do. Rob, I have to
Sorry.
talk to you.
It's passionate.
I need to talk to you, though.
Yep.
As a former college athlete, you think that college athletes should be paid?
Absolutely.
You do realize that you would not have been paid.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Wrestling, if anything, it costs schools money to have a program like that. So
and that is kind of the point that these athletic directors and these athletic these programs generally, right? There's one sport and maybe two at a school that makes money, and those sports have to fund the rest of the athletics program. Mm-hmm. Now, without churning the numbers on every individual program, could teams have money to pay guys? Yes, they probably could. It just gets a little dicey. Is it an open market where instead of an NFL draft, there's essentially an auction to get a Micah Parsons out of Harrisburg, the top defensive lineman in the country? Or is it Micah Parsons and everybody else gets $50,000? That's the tough question. Right. And if it's an auction system, I just don't think it works.
No, I mean, you're talking about, forget competitive balance. I mean, it's schools that have essentially
a lot of money
and
big boosters.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. But like you said, it's a black market for it. So players,
there is. You're right.
Players, they want to get paid. So even if it's under the table, even if it turns into a scandal, a lot of them are willing to take the risk.
Right. And it's that question of, if you're the NCAA or the FBI in this case, but if you're trying to enforce it, there's probably a much larger budget that you need at the NCAA level, maybe double your staff, something like that, and you're still not going to catch anything. But at that point, you're adding a lot of high-level professionals on a compliance basis for a sport where the people are not getting paid, not getting that stipend. So is that really accomplishing anything?
Yeah.
Putting a lot of compliance people in the NCAA office. Adding costs there so that you need to generate more from television contracts in order to pay those compliance people. An overly simplistic way to look at it, and obviously not apples to apples, but that's also one way to look at it.
Well, that's also why you think about how, go back to that conference I was at for the NCAA when they were reorganizing. That was the first meeting, if you remember, the Big Five conferences all got together, and so the super conferences.
Right.
And they basically it was really interesting to see because they actually had a separate meeting from the rest of the athletic conferences that were there for that meeting, that annual meeting.
Yep.
And you could kind of tell that the lesser conferences, there was a bit of not greed. It was just sort of like an air of it felt like the Power 5 conferences essentially had their noses up at the rest of the NCAA, like, oh, we can make these big decisions. We don't need you. So it's
and they do have autonomy to make decisions now. We'll turn your attention back to the game here as LaSalle will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. But, yes, to finish off that point there, Rob, as we turn to the field of play, you're right. There's more autonomy with that Power 5, if you will. And I think there's a lot still to be determined there in terms of how much football is going to dictate the future of collegiate athletics, whether there would be a formalized breakout of those conferences versus the other conference. And close to our heart here, where would that leave a conference like the Big East, a basketball-only conference that plays at the highest level with the ACC, with the Pac-12, et cetera, et cetera. In some years has been the third, second best conference out there, but doesn't have football. So there's a lot of implications, and we will find out where this college football landscape goes over the next few years. May not always be fun, but it will prove, I think, to be quite analytical and maybe entertaining isn't the word. We're underway here in the second half. Devin Smith drops the football. Ball is loose. Still has time to go pick it up. Tries to reverse field and gets back to the 17-yard line. Could have been worse.
Could have been way worse.
Yeah.
Had a feel for a minute there. I like that Giants-Eagles. You got little Deshaun Jackson back there trying to return the punt. Fumbles it. But we don't have a touchdown, and the clock's not running out, and Devin Smith's not running across the goal line. So
at least they both were number 10.
That's a good point, Jason.
One similarity.
And they both don't know how to catch, high fly balls.
LaSalle leading 24-0 after a strong first half. Selecki over the top, just overthrows Liam Traynor.
Good look by Selecki, though. Traynor was wide open. It was a good read option. I was looking at Octavius. I thought he had the ball.
He had him over the top, just put a little bit more air under that ball, let it hang and then fall into the arms of Traynor. A bit of zip on that one. Pistol formation. Carter directly behind Selecki. Handoff to Carter and drilled in the backfield. Wrestled back by Mark McGuire, number 44, the linebacker, the leading tackler tonight for the Crusaders.
Octavius, he's a really, really good back, but I don't think he's an every down back. But I don't know. Manny Keyless has yet to play tonight, so maybe there's something there.
$3-0 LaSalle soccer, by the way. Running away with it at Roman Catholic. 3rd down and 14 yards. Selecki throws a screen. Octavius Carter trying to get to the edge. Taken down at the 20, and it'll be 4th down. Good job by Father Judge to swarm to the ball on defense.
Yeah, Judge had a couple of guys just keep their eyes on Selecki. Look where he was looking, run that way, and they were able to bottle up Carter before he was able to put on the burners and pick up a 1st down. So
Steve Arrington back deep to receive.
So I was just going to say quick 3 and out here to open the second half for LaSalle.
Karish, decent kick. It'll bounce once into the arms of Arrington. From the 40, out to the 45 to the 50. Cuts outside again and tiptoes along the line. How far did he get? Only down to the 40-yard line, but good starting field position for Father Judge, their best starting field position of the night.
Yeah, that was a good job, of Father Judge swinging that ball around the edge. LaSalle did a good job staying in their lanes, but, trying to turn around and make the tackle, but just got outrun there.
Shane Dooley comes onto the field.
Wonder how his ribs and back feel after sitting for a halftime there.
Probably sore.
He's a tough kid, boys.
Sure
He's going
is.
to hang in the rest of this game.
Personal foul call on LaSalle.
So remember that great field position I was telling you about? Judge's best of the night?
Just got even better.
15-yard penalty marked off from the 40-yard line will take them down to the LaSalle 25-yard line. They're down 24-0, so suffice to say they'll need this one, and then perhaps a little bit of momentum if they could score here and stop LaSalle on their next drive. Nick Conway splits out wide. Ball's on the near hash. You see Steve Arrington on the bottom of your screen. He'll be guarded by Charles Roten. Frank Joyce will be one-on-one on the other side against Nick Conway. The give to Tim Weldon. Weldon cuts through up to the 10-yard line. Wrestled down at the 5. Found the hole very well.
Yeah, just a nice job squeezing between the tackles. Finding the only hole that was there and able to turn it upfield.
Back in the red zones, the first time since the first quarter, I believe.
Dooley now comes in from the sideline. Distributes the call to his offense. Tim Weldon directly behind Dooley. 2 on the play clock. Handoff to Weldon. Weldon bounces to the outside and is grabbed there. Gain of 1.
That was Zobel trying to spin him down after the whistle there. Better be careful.
Second down and goal from the 5-yard line. LaSalle came up with the red zone stop, and the only other possession that Judge had in this area of the field. An interception by Brennan Daly. Weldon now comes in tight near the right tackle. 2 on the play clock. Dooley scrambling. Loses the football. Loses the football. LaSalle has it. It's Explorer ball.
Kuz.
Wow.
Great play by Kuz.
Danny Kuznetsov.
Got the sack, the forced fumble, and the fumble recovery all in one play.
And another big stop there by LaSalle in the red zone, creating turnovers and keeping points off the board.
Yeah, Dooley was heading to roll out right, and Danny K, I don't think he expected him to be loose, so when he tried to throw the ball, he sandwiched him.
The Coos was loose. Is that what we're saying?
That's right. Remember Fitzgerald Toussaint from Michigan? Always. The Toos is loose, baby. So I like that. I could get on board with the Coos.
There we go.
Handoff to Burnham. Burnham, big gash up the middle. Up to the 47.
Look at him rumble. Love it.
It's your fullback.
Love those big runs by the stocky, muscular running backs, fullbacks. Just looks so silky smooth.
This LaSalle defense coming up with some big stops and then setting up opportunities like that for Joey Burnham. And there's a flag. Father Judge jumps for the second time on the hard count.
That's what we were saying last week, Jason and I. This Danny kid, there's a little bit of Aaron Rodgers in him.
Same veteran.
Get that
That's
hard
right.
count.
He got the Judge 1 technique guys, both of them, to come out of their crouch.
Love to see them get a snap off there, though, a free play.
That'd be really Aaron Rodgers-like.
Here's the delay give to Octavius Carter. Carter with some room. Carter to the outside and hit. Good play there by number 11, Marvin Harrison, to resist the urge to block from the back, as Carter already got the yards he needed for a first down. And Carter obviously seeing a big hole and hitting it, Rob.
I was going to say, it looked like Marvin was getting ready to shove him in the back, just held up there a little bit. And even if he did push him, I think he might have just pushed him harder into Octavius. So, worked out there that he didn't get his hands on him.
Yeah, I think he definitely released in time. No
Yep.
missed call or anything there.
Nope.
Tight formation for the Explorers. Selecki looking over the middle. Good catch there by Troy Holland. Holland cuts, nearly gets a block, dives forward a yard short of the first down.
Great play by Holland after the reception. He kept looking for extra yards on that play.
Second down and short. LaSalle moving the ball down the field. 7 minutes, 15 seconds to play in the third. Clock ticks. 24-0 as you see the score on your computer screen, your tablet, or your phone. Handoff to Burnham. Burnham with a ton of room right up the middle to the end zone. Touchdown, Joey Burnham.
Again, that's your fullback. Another big run by Joe Burnham.
Flags on the field. This should come back. Danny Kuznetsov having a eloquent discussion with the referee as he disagrees, but should be a hold upcoming.
Never mind, Bob.
Was that Sean Duffy or 8 or 9? I'm not sure. I quit trying to tell that one, but looks like he was getting ready to pick up the flag for the ref and decided, it's against me, so I'm going to leave it down. Not a holding, actually a little worse than a holding.
That could be a chop block where you have maybe the guard engaged up top and the tackle goes low,
down.
something of that ilk. I didn't see it. I know it was right in front of us, but did not see it.
It happens.
Burnham caused too much of a blur there.
Let's go to Kevin Long, our cameraman. Cue the replay. What you got for us? Nothing.
He stays quiet.
Come on.
Only one Long is able to talk on broadcast, I guess, at a time. That's all we can handle.
Well, we can't both be talking. It's like we can't be in the same room. You know what I mean? It's
seen but not heard.
Seen but not heard.
Or in your case, I guess, heard but not seen. Except at halftime.
Except at halftime. Now they'll start the clock here. But, Rob, as we know, the camera stuff is actually very difficult here. And our job is easy. Just getting on and talking about it. But catching the plays on camera. Thanks again to Kevin for helping us here. Selecki takes off with it, run out of bounds, and taken to the ground. Will be 3rd and long. So again, the Joey Burnham touchdown run taking back for what we presume was a chop block. And so now 3rd and long for the Explorers with 6:37 to play in the third.
A chance for, what's your play call here, Jason?
Oh, yeah, you have to take the shot deep.
Yep.
You have to.
Right there on the far side of your screen. Marvin Harrison in the slot, Troy Holland on the outside. Single safety look. Selecki rolls that way. Has Harrison in the flat, but throws it into the arms of Caleb Joseph. Joseph cut off the route and will take the pick back into Explorer territory.
And a late flag comes in, but just a not a good throw there by Selecki. Had Joseph, recognize that pass right away and was able to jump on it. And if I'm correct, guys, that's the first pick thrown by Danny Selecki, possibly of the no. And you're not sure, Bob?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He didn't. What was the turnover in the first, or was there one?
No.
No. Okay. You may be right.
He's throwing a few of those type balls tonight, though.
Yep. he's been flirting with danger.
Yeah.
All night, but.
So now we get the call from the field here. Holding against Father Judge, which will bring that return back slightly. A final at Lighthouse Field, 3-0 LaSalle Soccer, a winner over Roman Catholic, previously undefeated.
Rematch of the Catholic League Championship from last year.
I believe so.
Yeah, 2 powerhouses there.
Here's the handoff, Tim Weldon. Weldon, good run for 7 yards. Keeps the legs churning to midfield. They love to run off the left tackle, guys. They have a lot of strength up there. Some big boys, led by number 71, Mike Jacoby, checking in at 6'3", 303 pounds. I'd run off tackle if I were them, too.
Yeah.
I'd run away from that tackle.
He's blocking for you, Rob.
Nah. Personally, I'm saying I would not want to be. It's a big boy.
That wasn't your weight class, Rob?
No. Nah, 103 in high school. I was a tiny guy.
Here's the give. Weldon, good run, gets the first down and more. Taken down at the 45-yard line, but not before a gain of 5. And enough to get those chains moving.
It's a nice run, basically rubbing against his blockers. Able to keep bouncing forward downfield enough to pick up the first and get a new set of downs for Judge.
Yeah, Weldon, he's been running the ball pretty well all night, picking up yardage.
First down and 10 from the 45-yard line for Father Judge. Handoff again. Weldon gets 1. Hit there by Leland Mursky.
A nice job there. Saw the outside linebackers coming in. Showing blitz, they came in with it. But just another good job again by the Explorers defensive line stepping up, filling the gaps, and linebackers coming in for the tackle.
4 minutes, 54 seconds to play, third quarter. The score, as you see it on the top right of your screen, LaSalle 24, Father Judge nothing. Taking the shot, Dooley over the top, looking for Arrington, just overthrown.
If that ball was placed right, that would have been a touchdown.
Just out of the reach. But I like the look. I like the aggressiveness by Dooley there to go for it.
This LaSalle team has certainly gotten beaten over the top at times this year. You saw it
a few times
out of the backfield with number 25, Caleb Joseph, earlier in this game. That at times, because they like to stay in that base 4-3.
What is this?
And do we have a? It's not a streaker per se.
No, but it's a.
But it is somebody in a pink backpack.
Interesting.
Get the security out there.
Do we have any?
We're a little under budget.
That was weird.
What? What?
Aptly put, Jason.
That was weird. Very weird.
You know that guy could have held up play for a good 4 to 5 minutes if he so chose. There would have been nobody here to run down that guy.
For all we know, he's coming around.
Yeah, he might do it again.
He's coming around the other side of the bleachers. We might see him again.
Shout out to Athletic Director Joe Parisi trying to chase down that guy next time he comes out. There's a sack. Again, the big boys in on it. Stephen Matchett in there, as well as number 72, Chris Maloney. Dylan Traynor may have wrapped him up at the end, but there were 3 of them in the backfield. Now 4th down.
I'm still looking for him to come back on that kid to come back on the field. I'm just.
Yeah, he's definitely coming back for round 2. No one's stopping him.
What do you do in that
situation? Like we said, Athletic Director Joe Parisi, he will
it's his
not
job.
Let him on the field. The man has wheels. If anybody ever tried to come on a baseball field while he was coaching third base, it'd be over. Stoppage of play. And a timeout was called by Father Judge. They're going to think over this 4th down and 11, make sure that they have the personnel that they want. And while they think that over, we'll give you a message from our sponsor, Dunphy Ford.
Dunphy Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to Plymouth White Marsh High School. We're still trying to find the would-be streaker. Glad he left his clothes and his backpack on, but certainly made a statement coming across the field there.
The more I think about it, though, Bob, I'm pretty sure that was a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, he had no one, ready to take him down.
Well, you know what? We have a live stream here, and we're exporting this video to the White Marsh Township Police right now. Just kidding.
Ooh, Danny.
Dooley spins away. Dooley fires over the top and deflected. First down and 10 for the LaSalle Explorers as Father Judge can't convert on 4th down.
That was a nice job by number 6 for LaSalle. Charles Roten coming up big with the pass defense there, blocking that ball from getting to the receiver, knocking it away, batting it down.
So Judge has had chances, 2 pretty good starting field positions on their 2 drives here in the second half, but unable to get back into this game.
Yeah, Judge actually played pretty well tonight on offense, but a few turnovers, a few third down conversions that didn't happen. A few things haven't gone in their favor tonight.
Yeah, they've moved the ball.
Yeah, they moved the ball, yeah.
I'll give you that.
That's a better way to say it, yeah.
Here's the delay give. Octavius Carter, a loss of 6. He didn't think he went down. Referees disagree. Good pressure up the middle. And the stop made there by number 5, Ed Fahey. So really it's been Mark McGuire and Ed Fahey making the majority of the tackles out of the linebacker position. Both of them having pretty good nights for the Crusaders.
Yeah, Mark McGuire kind of reminds me of Austin Lemke. We're in 44.
Carter in the slot. Burnham alongside Selecki. Selecki looks to screen pass for Burnham. Here comes a flag. This is going to come back.
The offensive line, they owe Burnham one today.
Yeah, I tell you. Another hold against the Explorers, and that the one bugaboo for LaSalle tonight on an otherwise pretty efficient offensive evening. Another penalty will take the Explorers back. It was a well set up screen as Burnham went up, feigned the block, and then just came out into the flat. Great read by Danny Selecki. Everything was right until that one key block. Well, there's a little bit too much holding.
It's about to be second and a mile.
Remember, it was a chop block that took back a touchdown run from Joey Burnham. Burnham could have been putting on 50, 60 yards here tonight.
Yeah, the offensive line, they definitely owe him one.
Or they'll buy him lunch out of the new Student Center.
There you go.
Yeah.
Next
the
week.
Glazer Student Center. Big shout to all those that have tweeted in to us for our Where You At segment. Good feedback here tonight. And thanks for Buddy Werner for going above and beyond and tweeting us updates from the soccer match. Octavius Carter has some room up the middle and makes one miss, taken down by the shoelaces at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, that was very, very close to being a big run. If Octavius wasn't brought down there, that would have been 6 right there.
You could see him getting upset as he was going to the ground. He knew that he had a ton of room in front of him. He was taking that one to the house. Not for the shoelace tackle there.
Guys, he's had a great year.
He sure has.
He really didn't get probably as many snaps as he would like, and as a younger guy, that's just the case sometimes when you have a guy like Side Madden ahead of you, and Keelis proved his worth with 4 touchdowns against Carroll when Side Madden sat down. But, man, Carter has just come in and shown exactly why he's a key player in this team, and only a sophomore. Selecki, good throw there to Carter, makes the catch, and ripped out of bounds at the 35.
lucky to get up there. He got pulled down kind of awkwardly.
Yeah.
Looked like he went down on his head, maybe neck, but able to get right back up. Showing that he's going to be a weapon here for a few years for this Explorers team. Yeah, have him listed as a, maybe not.
My bad. You're right, Jason. Senior. Well, I was looking forward to seeing him play for the next couple of years.
Me too. Got me excited.
He's only 16, though, so who knows what could have been.
Here's Salecki rolling. They have a man. It's Duffy. Duffy up to the 30-yard line and taken down there. Father Judge, not too bad there to realize what was going on, and Weldon adjusted quite well, as did Nick Conway.
And I like that kind of misdirection, especially at the high school level, because you got a lot of guys that are going to commit on a play like that to go in one way, and then Gordon just drew it up, swinging everything back the other way.
Texas nearly beat Southern Cal on that same play a couple weeks ago. Burnham gets the handoff, stumbles, but stays on his feet, running through defenders. Enough for a first down.
He won't be stopped.
Joey Burnham running with anger right now. A little hop step there. Did you see that little?
I like that.
Planted his feet, let the defender fall in front of him.
Half Noshawn Moreno and half Bo Scarborough, baby.
Yeah.
Why I went Noshawn Moreno there, I'm not sure. It was the first guy that popped into my mind. And again, the one technique guys, both of them jumping for Father Judge. The one on the left-hand side, Ryan Boley. And Nick Murray. So now first down and 5 for the Explorers from inside the 15. We tick under 20 seconds to play here in the third quarter. LaSalle leading 24-0. Both teams scoreless here in this third frame. Salecki rolls. Looking over the top. Through the arms of Marvin Harrison. Could have made the play. Probably wants that one back.
Yeah, he definitely wants that one back.
What an effort by the freshman. I mean, that's unbelievable to go up there. I know he's a tall kid, big kid, but that was just, you know, Salecki put the ball a little high, and to see a freshman put that kind of effort on the ball and get his hands on it, just unable to bring it in, that's something, you know, a couple of years from now, that might be an easy grab for him.
Guys, as soon as Holland came out of his break, he was wide open.
Yeah, he was. Salecki was looking for the end zone, though.
Yep, he wanted
but Holland
the end
was
zone.
wide open.
Holland could have gotten to the end zone,
yeah, he could have, though,
if it came right out of his break.
He could have.
6 seconds. Clock stopped here in the third. Octavius Carter, the give there, and taken down. So we'll head to the fourth quarter. 3rd down and 5 upcoming for LaSalle, looking to tack on 7 more points, leading 24-0 currently. We'll take a break and come back. This is LaSalle College High School football on Bob Long Sports, brought to you by Dunphy Ford.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue. Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
Beginning of the fourth quarter here on Bob Long Sports. Bob Long, Rob Stott, Jason Bempa, and we have Kevin Long on camera. LaSalle moves down the field looking to add another touchdown, and guys, in the history of LaSalle football, They've scored 40 points in a game 5 times, only twice. So 5 times in one season that they've scored over 40 points has only happened twice. If they were to get there tonight or any other time, that would be their 5th. Selecki goes down, sacked on the play. Big stop there by number 13, Tariff Howell.
Yeah, it looks like they probably won't reach the 40 mark tonight, but they'll probably have another opportunity or two before the season ends.
4th down, will they go to Karish or will they leave the offense on the field? A late call, and they will send the field goal unit onto the field. Jason doesn't like it on 4th and 10.
Not at all. At least selecting the offense in the game. You trust the defense.
Daniel Karish will kick it from the middle of the field at the 25-yard line, a 35-yard attempt. Selecki gets the ball down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Good hold there by Danny Selecki. The snap didn't look ideal. Hung with it, got it down, and Karish kicked it in rhythm.
But yeah, when playoff time comes, those field goals, they're going to become pretty important during drives when you can't get a touchdown. So good to see Karish knocking them down early.
Yeah, LaSalle's been blessed with some good kickers.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. They've had I like the move there to give them the kick, just give them some work. But, you know, this is a team that has had a nice run of kickers over the last few years that are reliable, you know.
Matt Savage.
Yep.
Matt Savage, Mike Wells. Yeah. Back to Ryan Winslow, who's now punting at Pittsburgh. And depending upon how he finishes up his career there, it could be a candidate to continue to punt at the next level if the right pieces fall. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. Be great. Maybe Kyle Shermer will join him in the NFL.
There you go. Tough loss last week.
Yeah. Very tough loss.
Did not look good against Alabama. Who does, though?
That's a phenomenal point. End-over-end kick for Karish. Nice and high. Caught near the 10-yard line. Steve Arrington tripped up just past the 20, and LaSalle's defense will try to get another stop. Father Judge's offense, they try to get going.
Jordan Heaton in on the stop. Any relation?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Charles Heaton's little brother.
There we go.
I grew up with Jordan and Charles.
Good football players.
Yeah, definitely. Him and Winston, they're both balling up Shippensburg.
There you go.
Staying together as a wide receiver
tandem. If I remember correctly, Jordan plays for Philly's Finest, does he not?
Yes, he does.
Coach Eric Taylor, good friend of ours here on BLS. Good throw to the outside there from Dooley. Catch made by number 12, Sean Cunningham. Gain of 4. Yeah, Jay, we'll have to get you out. We broadcast one of Philly's Finest, the tournament that they actually put on at Springside CHA.
Yeah.
We had a great day. It was perfect weather, maybe a little bit hot for the players, but for us, we were okay. And it was a lot of fun. We'll get you out there next time. And
can't wait.
LaSalle, the fourth quarter here, just a note, definitely circulating a lot of seniors into the rotation.
Big time hit by Brennan Daly.
Oh.
Sean Cunningham got drilled.
Everyone felt that one.
Yeah, that was a huge hit.
Big shout out to Papa Long coming through on the graphics note for us here.
Big shout out to Rob Stott calling it out to everybody watching that we had the score incorrect. Thanks. Appreciate that, Rob. You're the man.
Appreciate your dad keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, absolutely. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Taken down on the play, Chris Edwards. Should be good enough for a first down.
Do they bring in? No, they just gave it to him.
Nah, it should be a good yard or two past the sticks, Rob. 10 minutes, 2 seconds to play. Fourth and final quarter. 27-0 LaSalle leading. Tim Weldon back there deep behind the quarterback, Dooley. Here's the give to Tim Weldon. Weldon came into the game the second highest number of carries in the Philadelphia Catholic League, getting a heavy workload here tonight, Jason.
Yeah, definitely. He's ran the ball pretty well, actually, to this point.
Looks like the majority of the secondary has been subbed in. Got a couple seniors we don't see too often on the field right now. Number 25, Ian Smith.
Dooley taking the shot over the middle. Caleb Joseph again makes the play. Lined up in the slot at the top of the play. Pretty impressive that this running back has come in. He came into the game with 16 receptions, fourth in the Catholic League, and he's made the 2 largest receptions of the night for Father Judge.
And I don't want to say it's because of the fact that we got, guys that don't see a whole lot of game action in there, but, senior night, giving those guys a chance to play, maybe it's Father Judge taking advantage of some of that inexperience in the secondary right now.
Hey, you got a big play in the first half, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's Dooley.
Ooh,
Match it. Getting held there. No call.
Wow.
Here's Shane Dooley. And he is sacked. Loss of 3.
Not just a hold, but it looked like hands to the face as well.
A very questionable no call, to say the least. But I mean, when you look at the scoreboard, kind of.
8 minutes, 20 seconds to play, fourth quarter.
I guess letting them play, as they'd say in
I guess.
College basketball or any basketball.
We tick under 8 minutes to play. Senior night here at Plymouth White Marsh High School. Weldon picks up a big block there. They go over the top looking for Joseph. Through his arms. Would have been 7. Well, 6, right, Rob?
If we're being
precise,
yeah, it would have been 6. But that was just those are always tough grabs. You look at those, trying to catch the ball over your shoulder, trying to look back over your shoulder and watch it go into your hands. But Joseph made a couple of those nice grabs tonight, but unable to haul it in there. And an excellently thrown ball by Dooley as well. Just unable to come up with the connection.
3rd down and 13. They need the 20 for a first down. Caleb Joseph into the slot. Tim Weldon in the backfield alongside Shane Dooley. Dooley, they're looking to set up a screen. Incomplete. Weldon was in the area, but what an effort there from big number 58, Chris Forsyth.
The hammer.
The hammer.
Senior getting some time on senior night.
My man Chris, he's got a fan section here tonight, the fan favorite.
Love it.
Seven minutes, 41 seconds to play. 4th down and 13. A festive atmosphere here on senior night. As you're seeing a lot of guys get looks, guys that work real hard in practice, on scout team, etc. Dooley runs out of time there and taken down, a gain of 1. But once again, Forsyth gets the tackle, and it's a turnover on downs.
Good effort from behind there as well by, looked like Jaleel Dawkins in there.
So now will we see Jack Machida on the field for LaSalle, backup quarterback?
I think there's a very high chance. Maybe him, Brad Vespi, Jalen DeVos.
My man.
The second unit.
Your man.
Brad Vespi.
Vespi.
Did you see any
saw
Vespi last week?
A lot of Vespi last week. We saw the whole second half was Machida, Vespi, DeVos. It was your kind of game, man.
Yeah. Couldn't be there.
Still so lucky.
Selecki and Carter out there. Burnham's going to line up at the tight end position. Handoff to Octavius Carter. Gets 5. Boy, he burst through that hole so quickly, guys.
Looked like he was going to go the rest of the way, but...
Yeah. It seems like that every play. Every play he touches the ball, he's so quick. It looks like he's going the whole length of the field.
His first step is so fast.
So quick, yeah.
Which could explain some of the problems, the handoff. You know, if he is quick to you know, get off the snap, Selecki doesn't expect him to be right up on him that fast.
Yeah, he's pretty versatile. I would like to see him get some snaps at DB at some time this season.
Jet sweep here to Troy Holland. Good blocking in front and gets right up near the first down marker. Should be good enough for a first.
Holland almost the forgotten piece in this offense so far, you know, aside from a couple early grabs in the first quarter, but
touchdown early on.
Goes to show able to spread the ball around, get the ball to their playmakers.
Octavius Carter, juke moves and taken down. Gain of 2 somehow. You mentioned Troy Holland, Rob. Came into the game second in receptions in the Philadelphia Catholic League behind his teammate Brett Malley, who we haven't seen in the second half. He's in street clothes. Certainly hope the best for Brett. And hope it's just precautionary in a game that LaSalle is now comfortably ahead.
When healthy, I think it's pretty safe to say they're the best receiving core in the Catholic League.
Selecki overthrows Luke Hardy, intended for number 87 Hardy. I would agree with that, Jason. And here's the only benefit. I mean, there's no benefit, obviously, but if you look at an injury like that, Malley is going to have 15 days before the next game against Roman Catholic. And then it would be another 21 days, not in addition, but 21 days from now before they would play the big game against St. Joseph's Prep.
Yeah, definitely.
On October 20th.
Yeah, enough time to recover. Let him rest. He deserves it.
Certainly hope for the best for Brett Malley. 3rd and long. Selecki throws to the sideline. Good catch, hanging with it. Number 11, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Got some
and
laundry on the field.
That should be a defensive pass interference or a defensive holding.
It's all over him.
And it is a defensive hold, so the contact or hold came before the ball came out of Selecki's hands.
Despite that, though, nice to just an excellent job by was Marvin, right? Coming up with that catch on the sideline. Strong hands to fight through the hold and bring that ball in.
LaSalle obviously declines the penalty. It's first down with 5 minutes, 44 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. LaSalle leads by the 27-0 score you see on the right-hand side of your screen. Three receivers out wide. Handoff to Jalen DeVos just into the game. Up the middle he goes to the 30-yard line and taken down at the 27.
Yeah, Jalen DeVos, big run for him, but every time he's gotten in the season, he's gotten yards, so it's good to see him get in the game late.
And just when you think you've seen all the weapons,
another one.
Throw another one at you.
There he is.
Hey.
Number 19, the Vespi Viper himself.
Lining up in the slot.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that.
Go his way.
DeVos, good hole there and runs through the first tackler. Great job. That's a gain of 8 for Jalen DeVos.
Vespi just a decoy on that play. Had him in there so the defense would key in on him.
Through Vespi. Tell you, that kid has quicks and some toughness too. I really, really like him and I really hope that he can become a big part of this offense in years to come. Now a Crusader down on the field. Trainer will come on, and while that occurs, we will take a break and come back for the final 4 minutes and 54 seconds here in the fourth quarter. LaSalle College High School football on Bob Long Sports, brought to you by our friends at Dunphy Ford.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out.
Second down and short. Here's DeVos with the handoff. DeVos shakes off one tackle and dives forward. It'll be close. Maybe a half yard short. Third down and short.
Is that a 15 or a 16 that I'm seeing on the back of our quarterback?
15.
Jack Machida into the game.
Yeah.
Rob Stott.
Those young eyes still work.
Young eyes. 15, 16. Here's Vespi with the handoff up the middle. Fights through into the 5.
I wanted it for you, Bob.
So close.
Yeah, you did. So Jack Machida, yes, into the game. 15, 16, 8, 9.
They're all the same.
Not making it easy on us, LaSalle.
Not making it easy at all. Why don't you just put two linemen out there, 99 and 98? Scrunch up the jerseys so we
99 and 88. 89 and 80.
Look at
80. I don't know.
We get it, Rob. Lots of permutations.
Yeah.
On the offensive line, you have 73, 74, 75.
Here's the handoff to Vespi.
Get it!
Vespi to the house.
You got it!
Touchdown, Brad Vespi.
Vespi. Little Vespi. Put it in the end zone. Put 6 on the board. Get Bob jacked.
Let's go.
Get hype. A little 5'4", 140-pound running back.
Varsity touchdown.
Oh,
phenomenal.
He's going in the history book.
Good for him.
That's so awesome.
That kick is up, and the kick is good. That kick by Mike Gandolfo. Sophomore kicker puts that one through. And, by the way, when you come into the game to play quarterback for LaSalle, you have two duties. That's to play quarterback, and that's to hold on field goals and extra points, because that was Jack Machida in there on the hold as well.
I like it. Harkens back to the old Andy Reid days in Philly with the backup quarterbacks holding the snaps on the kicks. I love it.
I think that happens a lot.
No, I know. It's just the first thing that comes to mind. Because I'm Philly, you know. All that matters is what happens in Philly,
Got
right?
it. Yeah.
You know?
It harkens back to right now, all over the NFL and college.
What's your
I'm just
preference?
kidding,
What's your
Rob.
preference there, though? Because you see it a lot. You know, they
Well,
can
whether it's a
opt
punter
between
versus
the punter versus the quarterback. One obviously, both actually handle snaps.
Yeah, I like the quarterback personally. Here's Caleb Joseph. Joseph knocked down on the outside. How about that play by number 24, Jordan Heaton? That's right, your
My
boy
guy.
there.
Yeah. But to your earlier point, I don't think Isaiah was holding the extra points when he was playing.
No, I don't think so. I think it was Selecki.
Yep.
Rob was specifically talking about backups holding.
Yeah, I know.
In this case, it's actually the quarterback that's in the game.
Oh, nice grab by the ref. I don't know if you saw that. Little ODD right there. Well, one-handed.
There is a phenomenal, and we'll talk about this after this play. 3:28 to play fourth quarter. Good throw to the outside, easy throw, and Dan Foy makes the play for a couple. The clock still runs. There's a phenomenal video out there from week 1 of the high school football season. It might have happened in California or Florida or something. And the running back from about the 20-yard line their own 20, starts running down the field, has a big gash, and gets behind everybody. Shane Dooley has a lot of time. Dooley continues to look and will flip it into the sidelines. So as this runner is coming down the middle of the field, think about how if the camera's there, you're not really seeing the bottom of your screen. Out of nowhere, this referee is housing it. I mean, absolutely flying much faster than this very speedy high school running back, and it just caught fire on the internet. Absolutely went viral.
Referees do it better.
They do. So your OBJ guy there. Seven on the play clock, 2:56 to play in the game. Dooley shifts around, looking downfield, fires over the top, and a catch is made. A lot of room here. Kessler. Look at this. Running through tackles, Matt Conan.
Yeah, that was a big boy move.
Kessler came out of the side because Conan didn't see him.
Yeah.
I think he thought he was going to obliterate him. Unfortunately, Kessler went the wrong direction as those two forces met.
Yeah. Pretty unfortunate for Kessler, but they got the tackle, so.
Here's Dooley. Dooley constantly under pressure tonight.
Wow.
Has time and now fires it away. Could it be a catch? Almost.
That was close. I don't know if he was just trying to chuck that ball away or if he actually knew he had a guy over there, but that would have been impressive.
I think this O-line for Judge is gassed, guys.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a pair. We talked about it in the second quarter as LaSalle's defensive line looked like it was just sort of getting its way. But it's end of the fourth quarter, just over 2 minutes left.
A lot of these guys are playing both ways. They don't have nearly the size of the roster.
Nope.
You just look on the other side of the field. There's not that many guys there compared to the guys in blue.
Yeah, the difference in depth obviously is going to wear him out.
Difference in size, difference in depth.
Yeah, and everything.
Second down and 10. Tim Weldon gets the give. Cutting up the field. Nice little run for 4 yards. Third down and 6 upcoming as we'll tick under 2:05 to play.
On the last play, it looked like a backup quarterback was in for Judge.
So what are you guys up to on the bye week?
Well, I returned from Kairos Friday night.
Wow.
You're going?
Yeah, I went last
coming
year.
up. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh,
so
good
you're going
for
as a
you.
leader.
Yes, sir.
You excited?
Yeah, very excited. Yeah.
That's great.
It's a good time.
Wake up Saturday, the SAT. So excited.
Congratulations on all that. That's good stuff. Chris
Thanks.
Edwards with the give. Gain of 2.
First time's always an exciting time to go, but it's a little bit different going back as a leader.
Yeah.
Almost, I don't want to say it's more enjoyable because it's still
both great experiences.
They're so different, but the same. Like just having that different perspective on things, and
I'm excited.
You were a leader as well, Rob.
Sure was.
Very
It's
cool.
A really, both times it's a humbling, just all awesome experience. So, and if you missed it, this year's the 20th year of Kairos, so check the Explorer magazine that just came out. There's an article by yours truly about that fact.
Good throw there to the outside. A little bit of a rub play. Taken off towards the end zone, number 3, Dan Foy. There is a flag in the backfield. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Penalty going against the Explorers. By the way, I say rub play. That was pretty close to what you'd call a pick play.
Yeah.
But that laundry did not come, so we will call it a rub.
So that it looks like they're letting them play, sort of.
Well, no, I mean, you can't let somebody drill the quarterback.
No.
Rob, how about you? Bye week, what are you up to?
It's fall. Probably do some very domesticated things as a husband and a father. Go apple picking, maybe a pumpkin patch out there somewhere. Have some fun.
That's great, man. Enjoy it with your family. We'll tell you what happened in football.
Yeah. What's up?
Next week, that is.
Oh.
Because you won't be watching?
Yeah, likely not. Maybe Sunday. Sunday we will be.
There you go.
Gotta watch football with the kid.
48 seconds to play in the fourth quarter.
Oh!
High snap. Judge will fall on it,
Or
but
will
not
they?
come up with it. They didn't come up with a ball. LaSalle got the football. And how about that?
Oh.
Number 30, Brendan Fresco, the junior linebacker, comes up with another turnover. That's the third turnover inside the red zone by Father Judge tonight.
Yeah.
Absolute backbreakers. I mean, red zone turnovers in general are one thing. They're going to hurt a team, but red zone turnovers like that, you're talking potentially 21 points left on the board by Judge there.
Yeah, I guess you can say that's the difference in the game. LaSalle defense, they're very disciplined, and every time that their backs were against the wall in the red zone, they made a play. So.
Jack Machida in there again at quarterback. Victory formation for LaSalle. And he'll knee, and they'll likely only need one more. Hey, Bob, what are you doing next weekend for the bye week? I'm glad you asked. Thanks. I'm heading down to Gainesville, Florida for
That
LSU
is
against
right.
Florida.
That is right.
We pick one place every year to go and check out.
That's good.
And they're not going to need to snap one more time as we now tick under 16 seconds, 20 on the play clock, so that'll be all. So I will get my football fix and come back excited for the last couple games of the regular season. And LaSalle has a chance to get rested, get healthy, and they'll come back after the bye, play Roman Catholic, St. Joseph's Prep, and then Archbishop Wood to close out the regular season. But this one, guys, a shutout. LaSalle now, Bill Waselenko would love this stat, another year with a shutout. They were on some obscene streak of years with a shutout. Last year they did it against Pennsbury. This year they do it against Father Judge on senior night. Makes it all the more special. Jason, your final takeaway from how this LaSalle team played here tonight.
LaSalle, they play great on both sides of the ball, but I think the story of the season so far has been the defense, the consistency from the D-line, the front seven overall. Danny K, Toph, Zobel, Hirschman, Lemke. Lemke and Hirschman played tonight, but they've been pretty consistent. Selecki played pretty good again tonight, and the receiving core showed out. So, how about you, Rob?
I go to you're going to praise the defense, and they deserve all that praise, but I'm going to go to the offense. It was nice to see all the weapons get involved tonight. This was an impressive night for the seniors, for sure. Always good to see them show up on senior night. But, it's just another opportunity for LaSalle to show off all their weapons on offense. Danny Selecki battled through some, struggles early and late, but powered through, and impressive to put 34 points up on the board on senior night, and a big win for these guys.
My takeaway continues to be the same thing. This season looked a lot different in the first quarter of the McDonough game. We'll now turn your attention to the alma mater. As I was saying, my takeaway, this season looks so much different. In the first quarter of the McDonough game, Isaiah Jones gets hurt. There's a lot of uncertainty. We saw a lot of Brett Malley in the Wildcat. Danny Selecki goes 10 for 21, but again, most of those completions in the second half. He came out in a Malvern game against a very good Friar team and showed that this could be his team and earned every second of the time he's gotten as the starter on this team. So now they go into the bye week 5-1. If you would have told us that as we sat in Maryland calling that game, I don't know how many people would have been of that opinion. So you have this team righted back on the ship as they go to play a winless Roman Catholic team after a bye, and then St. Joseph's Prep and Archbishop Wood to finish the season. Now, St. Joseph's Prep has all the weapons in the world, and of course the schedules have been different. But in terms of total scoring and offense, this LaSalle team is the highest scoring team in the Catholic League. They average the highest total yards per game. They rush for the third highest yard per game, and they throw for the highest yards per game. They've also only turned the ball over twice coming into the night, 3 times now on the entire season as they move to 5-1. This team has a lot of strengths, and I think the only question that remains is this team up to the caliber of a nationally ranked St. Joseph's Prep team, and how will they fare against the Wood? They've answered every other question, guys, and this offensive and defensive line has shown that it can be elite. Danny Selecki has shown that he can be the guy. We're now coming up on 4 or 5 weeks since Isaiah Jones got hurt. What will his status be after the bye? Certainly uncertain there, but it is worth wondering and asking the question. But bottom line, this has been fun.
Yeah.
And this is a team that really likes to play together. They love one another, and they just got it rolling. So that's the takeaway key, whatever you'd like to describe it as a modifier. That's how I feel about this team right now, watching them play 6 games and go 5-1.
And we've talked about it off air, but to put the question to you, if he does come back, you get the bye, Isaiah Jones is healthy. Maybe not against Roman, you give him another week to rest, but as you come down to that stretch in those last 2 games, what's the call, Bob Long?
Brett Gordon makes that decision.
That's fair.
Makes that decision. And it's not an easy one.
No, not at all. But it'll be a fight. Either way, I mean, you have to feel the way Danny's played and what we saw out of Isaiah, you have to feel confident either way he goes that this is a team that'll be, they'll be good. They'll be good. They have a quarterback in either guy, whoever's under center, that they'll be able to trust. They know can win games. And really, they've got a defense that they can lean on when they need to.
A big win for LaSalle, 34-0. They blank Father Judge. And again, another year in the illustrious history of LaSalle football in which they pitch a shutout. A bye week is next, followed by Roman Catholic. And for our entire team here today, Kevin Long on camera, for Rob Stott, for Jason Bempa, class of 2018. So thanks to him, a senior night for Jason as well. For all of them, I'm Bob Long saying so long from Plymouth White Marsh High School for the final time this regular season. LaSalle a winner, 34-0.